All right, and we are live. Let me get some music up and going. DSV, how's it going, man? How you doing? We're gonna get started in like 20 minutes. So if you guys want to grab some food or grab something to eat or have something to do, feel free to do that. I'm just gonna do Wordle and well, okay. Romero, how's it going, man? I'm just gonna do Wordle and connections, and then I'm gonna clean up my notes a little bit when I was sending them into. Sounds good, DSV. And I was sending in my notes, copying my notes to send into the Discord. I saw how disgusting they looked, and I was like, okay, I gotta work on this. Okay, so S8. Okay, so SHK. SHA. No. Fuck. Okay, hold on. You shouldn't even look at the title of Easy's videos. He'd just be putting spoilers. Yeah, I'll try my best. The problem is I'm not subscribed to a lot of channels on my YouTube. So that means when I sign in to check like my to whether to go live or to post videos or to look at any of my stats or whatever, I immediately end up seeing Easy's videos. I'm gonna try. Like I've been trying not to look at them because you guys told me that he put some spoilers in the thumbnail, so I'm trying. I'm not looking at them. But like unironically, they're like the first things that show up because I'm subscribed to like 6 channels or something. It's dumb. So it just auto pops up. Queen, how's it going? How you doing today? Oh my god. Okay. SH. Yeah, that's good to hear. SH. Oh, shuck. Fuck. Oh, the chapter 2 of Wukong is really good. Really nice level design. Yeah. Have you fought a couple of bosses? Because my favorite boss in the entirety of Wukong is in that chapter. Yeah, I got spoiled from a channel I don't even follow. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. SH. UK, maybe? I killed the rant ones, and then this one thing called Crystal Mother or something. Oh, the rat, the father and son. I grew up watching the Wukong TV series. It was really good to relive. Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, it's super early. It's 6:40 for me right now, Queen. But again, ever since I always thought I was just really tired from my flight and traveling and stuff, but now I'm realizing I'm just really fucking jet lagged. The sun got away. Yeah, you gotta. One of them always gets away. Either you kill the father first and then the son gets away, or vice versa. So it kind of doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm in EST. Okay, fuck this. I'm not getting it today. I don't care. Okay. Stone, fiber, marble, glass, character ounce, nebula. Makeup, eyeliner. I don't think I'm seeing anything. Now I'm finding the eyes of The Buddha. Oh, cool. I will just warn you. For me, one of the harder boss fights in this entire game was the end of Volume 2. It was a rough boss fight. You can make it easier if you find a relic and stuff. And like I had to go back and find the relic because I couldn't beat him without it. I was losing my goddamn mind. Dr. Z, how's it going? DSV, thanks. Welcome back. Nebula, ounce, pound, stone. Nebula nature. I'm thinking like measurements of weight. Fiber, marble. Rave blast. That black bear was fucking me too much. I was on full. The black bear, I didn't actually. I think I beat him the second try or something. Black bear was actually kind of okay. The end of Volume 2 boss, like, it has a second phase that is the most bullshit thing like I've seen in a long time. Like, it was ridiculous. I canceled play these kind of game. I'm decent at Wordle. I'm really bad at connections. I don't know what it is. Blast, bash, rave, blowout. Let's go. Marble, makeup, nebula, fiber. Shit. See, I don't think it's marble. There's got to be another. Oh. Wait, I didn't know what a dram was. I took a guess. Based. By the way, do you guys play Stoget? I don't. That name doesn't ring a bell, Dr. Z. I don't believe so. I mean, it may be known by another name or something. I don't know. Character, nature. I always ended up thinking like rock and cloud or kind of. Okay. Character, nature, makeup, nebula. Oh no, not nebula, fiber. Like what you're made of. Yes. Eyeliner, nebula, glasses, marble. Stuff you put. Eyeliner and glasses make me think like stuff for your eyes, and I don't know what a nebula and a marble are though. What cat's eyes are used to. What the fuck? I didn't have that other fire transformation ability and stuff when I fought. Wait, you didn't even have the fire transformation ability? You get that like right away. What? You get that as soon as you beat the first boss, like as soon as you enter the game. What are you talking about? That's like, I forgot to go. You're kidding. Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna adjust my notes a little bit, okay? They're not in good sequence, so I'm just gonna adjust. I got like 15 minutes. So again, if you guys want to do anything, grab some food or whatever, feel free to do that. I'm just gonna adjust my notes really quickly. They look really bad and I don't like it. Maybe sequence 2, that's fine. That's all okay. I beat the baby and went straight? What? It's a card game with many picture cards, 6 people, everyone gets a few cards. The first player says a word, sentence, or phrase that connects to a card but not too much. Then every other player chooses of their cards and that connects to one but not too much to the first player. Oh, no, I don't believe I've played that. That doesn't sound like anything. After I went to... Jesus Christ. Dude, now that you have the transformation ability, it is it's so handy to have. Holy fuck. Because it gives you a new health bar, right? Lyola, how's it going? How you doing today? And then the first player puts all the cards in the middle, and everyone should guess what the original... Oh, that's cool. And then I assume the next person starts with the original card word, basically. Ah, cool. If everyone gets it right, no one gets a point. Oh. I was gonna beat the hidden boss first try, then that fucker started to regain health. Okay, that's good. Oh, by the way, I did upload my notes in the Discord if any of you need them for whatever reason. I'm just changing stuff right now, trying to make it look a little bit put this at the bottom. Milosh, how's it going, man? How you doing? By the way, when do I get a map for chapter 2? Map should be pretty I feel like it should be accessible once you beat the I feel like it should be accessible once you beat the father and son. I can look it up really quickly. I'm not gonna, because I don't want you to look it up for spoilers and stuff. Oh, yeah, so just go to the shrine, just pop by to your shrine, and then you should be able to buy it from the shop there. Yeah, it should be accessible once you beat the first boss of the area. Like Bloodborne. Dude, the Bloodborne area was such a mindfuck to get used to. I totally get it. Yeah, once you beat the first boss, you just pop by to the shrine, you should be able to buy it. This all looks fine. Spectator rod read no combat means. Telepath, that's the other. That's all. I usually don't buy stuff. Okay. Oh yeah. I don't generally. I tend to buy stuff all the time. I buy all the consumables and then I save all of them forever. And then when I know it's the final boss of the game, I just use everything against him, and no matter how hard the fight is, it becomes so easy because I have 4,000 of everything. Marauder, sequence 9. From the body, release. I hoard them even on the final boss because of fear if I die I lose it all. Okay, I'm not quite that bad because I'll just use it on the final boss because I'm like, even if I die, I have plenty to spare, so like, what does it even matter? Like my anime girl collection. Okay. Oh, I think Beyonder Warrior is the one that I have the most like linear knowledge of so far, except for Lawyer, of course. I've never played a game to the end. That is crazy, Dr. Z. Discovering these traits. I only know a couple of nemesis, right? So I know Demon Hunter's the nemesis for devils, but do I know anything else? No, I don't know any of the other ones. That kind of sucks. The furthest I ever got was 75%. That's crazy. I have a thing where I play a game for a while nonstop, then don't touch it for a month. I have a similar sort of thing with Minecraft. Like once a year, I'll get the urge to play it. I'll then play it for like a month straight, and then never touch it again for the year. Secret Subplane, Whispered, Shadow, Ascetic, Rose. Oh no, I played one of the AC versions, can't remember. The only AC that I recall actually really playing was Black Flag, I think it was. That's the one where you're a fucking pirate, right? Yeah, Black Flag. I enjoyed the fuck out of that game. Add Ramirez homies to the Aurora Order. Yeah, alright, sounds good, Ramiro. I'll do that. Really quickly, Priest of Light. It was the one that climbing walls was the easiest. Priest of Light. Do I know the number for this, or is this just another name that I know? I think it's just a I think it's just a name that I know. Sun Pathway, Sequence 0, Sun, possessed by the Sun by the Church of EBS. Okay, that one is obvious enough. Whatever. Hunter, Provoker, The Hunters are the opposite of Assassins, right? Hunters are the nemesis for Assassins. Criminals. Prisoners. All this is fine. Okay, that's done. This is just random knowledge. I don't really care if this is formatted great. I don't really give a shit about it. Okay. No, men are the same. They are the synonym of war. These are two similar paths. Oh. The fact that it says they are the synonym of war, they really should have been the warrior pathway. The hunter pathway is kind of interesting choice, but whatever. Storms were not even claimed to be hidden. I don't even know what this means. What is this sentence? Where the fuck did I get this? Dark Epoch. First epoch was the Chaos Epoch. The theory is that the land forsaken by the gods was split from North and South continent at the end of the second epoch. Here, a cataclysm in the third epoch. Legends say the Evernight goddess Gaia, god of combat, lord of storm, blazing sun, and god of knowledge, protected humanity from the cataclysm. Warrior is more one-on-one. Okay. Warrior is more combat. Okay, then war. Okay, fair. History of City of Silver. Whatever. That's answers because in the past, Evernight Church was a secret organization. Oh, I see. Okay, I will just add that. Unlike the Church of the Evernight, that was said to be a secret. Okay, thank you. History of the City Silver, when the sun disappeared, and what the actual fuck? I'm gonna guess this means, and the... When the sun disappeared and the clouds were ripped and torn apart and monsters emerged, humanity's long dark rage arrived. The united power in the City of Silver and eradicated monsters within a... the monster within the day. There was no food, however they found black-faced grass, which could survive without the sun. God emerged in the third epoch, the Cataclysm epoch, to inherit the estate of the Giant King. Yeah, I'm sorry, okay? Because I'm typing and reading chat all at the same time. My notes sometimes get a little rough, okay? That's why I'm trying to fix it. God immersion 3rd epoch, the Cataclysm epoch to inherit the estate of the Giant King. After becoming a sequence 5 Beyonder, the rest can be replaced with sequences at the same level from 1 or 2 other pathways. If it's replaced with one from the wrong pathway, one may go insane. And cannot progress further, that's fine. EBS, also see each other's enemies. Okay, hold on. So EBS, Lord of Storm, and God of Knowledge have poor relations. Wait, hold on. With that knowledge, I might be able to guess which ones are also interchangeable. So then the Sailor pathway, the Bard pathway, and which one does the God of Knowledge have? Do I know this? Wait, okay. Oh, I don't think I know what pathway they have. Fuck. Same conclusion before. I did? Oh, it might be in my notes then. No, I don't think so. Okay. Sun, Sailor, and the... assumed to be suitable. Yark, how's it going, man? I was just quickly trying to update my notes as best as possible because they were a fucking mess. I think, did I already have this written? Ah, for fuck's sakes. Alright, whatever. Never mind. Okay, never mind. It's already there. Oh, they have the reader pathway. Okay, dope. Nah, I forgot what sequence 8 of Warriors, Gladiator. I have to change it now. Aha! Look at that, Milosh. Look at that. We got some. You got some benefit from me reading all my notes and shit. Okay, dope. Okay, it's 7. Let's start reading, and then we can and then I can come back to this later. It's all available for you guys too if you ever want to take a look at what I know and stuff, or what I don't, much more specifically. 411. Okay. No, Gladiator, Peter List, I think. Okay. Okay. Chapter 411. My god, we are making such good progress, guys. Coming in throngs. I don't even know what throngs means. Throngs. A large, densely packed crowd of people or animals. Dope. Changed it to Lord of Combat. Okay, that still seems a little derisive, but whatever. Oh my god, that tea is hot as fuck. Jesus. Okay, seems to be a Balam... Oh, we're talking about Azek based. Okay. Seems to be a Balan lineage, a university lecturer. It really is Mr. Azek, not someone sharing the name. Using the information provided by Old Kohler, Klein basically confirmed that the person the bounty hunter was aimed at was the suspected descendant of Death, Azek. Herein lies the problem. Who or what organization could be looking for Azek? The Numinous Episcopate, whose ultimate goal it is to revive Death? Ince Zongwil, who likes to play the mastermind behind the scenes? Oh, the chat is disabled. Yes, of course. Thank you. There we go. 41. All right, thank you. Oh, that's why. My fucking numlock was off. I did type it. Okay. I feel good. It's unlikely to be the latter. In-Song Will has the sealed artifact 008, which allows a target to act according to his descriptions and through a series of coincidences achieve his desired objective. There's no need for him to use gangs and bounty hunters. Wait, if this actually is the arrangement by sealed artifact 008, realizing that he's the target of Mr. Azek, but lacks the confidence to clench victory in battle, In-Song Will is using 008 to instigate conflict between Mr. Azek and some particular faction, hoping to eliminate his enemy directly. And this reward was issued by that faction. Very possible. However, I can't rule out the Numinous Episcopate. To get revenge, Mr. Azek might have made contact with them. However, there are some major differences between the two parties regarding the resurrection of death, which eventually led to a fallout. Klein instantly thought of two possibilities, and the corresponding reasons. Wait, okay, that makes sense. If we're using some logic here, we know that high sequence beyonders, I assume the same applies to a sequence 0 as well. I don't know, but I assume. We know from Roselle that high sequence beyonders have the ability to pass on whatever level of their characteristic to their child. So if we're assuming Azek is a descendant of Death, Death will assume a sequence 0 of a pathway because it's a god, right? So then if let's say Azek is like Death's grandkid or whatever, Azek's grandfather is sequence 0 Death, he passes off like, I don't know, sequence 3 or 4 or something to his kid, who then passes off like sequence 5 or something to his kid, and Azek is basically born like a damn near high sequencer or mid sequencer or whatever. Where am I? Yes. He took a sip of his coffee and said to Old Kohler, "Help me to find out who issued this bounty and its exact price. If it's appropriate, I'll take a note of it while I'm at it." No problem. Born with a golden spoon. Yeah, exactly. Like, you either want your parents to be a high sequence beyonder or a low sequence beyonder. Because a high sequence beyonder, you're born real fucking strong if your parent wants you to, based. Low sequence beyonder, you're not born with any characteristics and can do what you want. Mid sequence beyonders, they have to give you something, but then you're born kind of like a demisol, like just kind of fucked up. Because you get like half a sequence or some shit. Or maybe you're born a sequence 9 if you're lucky. Ugh. He took a sip of his coffee and said to Old Kohler, "Help me find out who issued this bounty and its exact price. If it's appropriate, I'll take note of it while I'm at it." No problem, Old Kohler said. From a certain perspective, there were essentially no differences between a private detective and a bounty hunter. The only difference was that the former would have to involve themselves in trivial matters, such as catching adulterers in the act, finding cats, and helping others walk dogs, while they tended to use powers of deduction more than brute force. Mid-sequence can't control how much they transfer, so you... When Old Kohler finished describing what he had seen and heard, Klein briefly taught him to use some of the tricks of leading a conversation based on the Nighthawk's curriculum, as well as the contingency plan for specific scenarios. I'm so curious, like, do we ever get the answer to this, by the way? If, let's say, two people of mid or high sequences of different pathways have a kid, what happens to that kid? Because then now they're born with two sequences. Does that kid just die? Like, there's just no way around it? But it'll be hard for the kid to comprehend power. Also, you already know characteristics hold a certain level of madness. A child born like that is half a sociopath. Don't talk about a demisol that way, okay? He's simply misunderstood, okay? I can fix him. I don't think both will transfer, most likely the higher sequence. Okay, dope. Alright, thank you guys. If they're not compatible, only one will. Okay, dope. In this, wait, hold on. It's time for me to go to the docks. Thank you, detective, for allowing me to lead a good life once again. Old Kohler picked up his hat off the table and thanked him sincerely. The detective, in his view, not only provided him with a well-paid job, but also taught him many useful things. Even if the detective no longer needed him as an informant, the skills he had learned would allow him to continue surviving, especially as he grew older and less capable of laborious work. A good life. In my opinion, what you have now is the basics of what a person should have. Klein sat there in a daze after watching Old Kohler walk out of that coffee house. This was the first time he had heard a friend's name from someone else since his arrival in Backland. It was also the first time that he may have grasped Inks Zongwil's whereabouts. For the past 3 months, Klein's main goal was to digest the potion and enhance himself, especially after killing Lanavis. That was because he knew very well that he and In Songwil, who was most likely a high-sequence Beyonder, had an unbridgeable gap. He couldn't be impatient for revenge, especially when it came to the chilling artifact 008. He didn't even have the intention to approach and investigate it. I did not spoil the other analysis. Yeah, good for you, Dr. Z. As soon as I asked, when I saw your message, I was like, I'm gonna not read it for a few seconds and let Ramiro go through it just in case. Scenes from the Blackthorn Security Company in Tingen replayed themselves in Klein's mind, and those bright polished shoes clearly appeared before his eyes. Raising his head and slowly letting out a breath, Klein took out his scarf and hat and walked out of the coffee shop. Instant craziness and explodes probably. Hillston outside a rather old building. Klein got off the carriage, pressed his hat, and went to the door. It was Isengard Stanton. Oh wait, I actually have a theory about Isengard too. Hold on. I don't think this is in my notes. Hold on. Let me just add it in my notes really quickly. Isengard Stanton. Isengard Stanton is Mr. Eye of Wisdom and Sequence 7 detective. Okay, sorry, we're back. No, this was an old theory. It's nothing new. Because they had well, I can't remember. It was like an eye or something. No, like he had an eye on his ring. Like Isengard has a ring that has an eye or something, and then Eye of Wisdom has like a book with an eye or something. I can't remember. It was something that made me think of that. I can't remember what it was. Where am I? It was Isengard Stanton, the great detective who had written to Klein a few days ago, inviting him over to discuss a murder case. Mr. Klein, who had been busy with the financing of the bike project, tactfully replied that he had no time to spare as a form of rejection. To his surprise, Isengard didn't seem to mind and said that the case had hit a wall, making it unlikely there would be any breakthroughs anytime soon. He was very willing to wait for Sherlock's visit and expressed how he looked forward to an exchange that ignited the sparks of wisdom. Sparks of wisdom? Eye of Wisdom? Coincidence? I think not, motherfucker. As such, Klein could only first divine a suitable date for the visit, picking up the closest date after the negotiations, which happened to be this afternoon. After that, he wrote back and fixed the appointment. Klein rang the bell twice and stepped back to wait. More than 10 seconds later, the door creaked open and the assistant of the great detective Isengard said with a smile, "Good morning, detective. Mr. Stanton is waiting for you in the activity room. Would you like coffee or tea?" The assistant was thin and wore gold-rimmed glasses. He looked both refined and professional. Klein looked up and said, "Tea. Be sparing on the lemon slices." "No problem." The assistant led Klein to the living room, pointed to the activity room and said, "Sorry, our servants are only temporary, and they just happen to be on their day off today, so I can only trouble you to go over there alone." Every time Wisdom and Klein are said in the same sentence, I just think of all the people Klein scammed. Well, exactly. Klein has wisdom, and I don't give a shit about no one else. Klein nodded and walked towards the activity room on the first floor. As he lifted his hand to knock on the door, he suddenly felt something was amiss. "I arranged the visit a while back. Why would I chance upon the temporary servant's day off?" Klein's eyes narrowed and he pulled out a copper penny. At At this moment, the door to the activity room opened due to the knock, producing a tiny crack. From the blink of an eye, as if some seal was lifted, the strong smell of fresh blood poured over and overwhelmed Klein's nose. From what he could see, the reclining chair in the activity room was overturned and stained with dark red blood. A book lay beside it, facing up. With just that one glance, Klein felt as if he was seeing a murder scene. The name of the book caught his eye, The Devil Legend of Civilis Burrow. In the blink of an eye. Yeah. Thank you, Milosh. So good. Yes. I remember my scaredy. I used to act like an e-girl on Discord to get free nitro. Oh no. Devil. Klein was about to make a move when a strong wind blew in the activity room, pulling the door back. Klein clearly saw the entirety of the activity room. The charcoal in the fireplace had long since burned out, and there was no longer any red embers glowing. The coffee table, the sofa, the chairs, the cupboards, everything had fallen or shattered. It appeared as if he was witnessing an intense battle. There was a lot of blood on the carpets and a lot of scorch marks, but there was no sign of a body at the scene, not even a stump limb. Something happened to Detective Stanton. Klein took a step back, intending to first leave the place. However, at the same time, he felt someone lock onto him. Someone was staring at him with a cold and merciless gaze from an unknown location. The moment he made a mistake in his response, he would immediately be met with a fatal blow. How could this be a suitable day to visit Isengard? Was it my interpretation of the revelation wrong? Klein didn't dare hesitate rashly. Or Klein didn't dare act rashly. Klein's gonna get framed. I think he's gonna get kidnapped. However, he was neither too nervous or flustered. Having experienced many battles and performances, he knew how to stay calm. Isengard Stanton's assistant walked over with a tray. On the tray was a tin teapot and 2 porcelain cups. The assistant froze in place when he saw the scene. He looked at Klein, his face filled with fear as he stuttered, You killed Mr. Stanton." Every time he said a word, a piece of flesh fell from his face as blood gushed out. After he finished speaking, his body was torn to shreds, turning into a dismembered corpse. It was as if he had always been in that state, with everything preceding this just being a state where he was stitched up. What the fuck is happening? Someone turned him into mince meat. What am I reading? The tin pot and the white porcelain cup hit the ground at the same time. Rolling or splashing, and the tea water quickly soaked the area. Klein didn't move as he stood there, watching everything that had happened. This was because he felt like he was being watched. The person who had caused this series of events appeared to be waiting for him to make a move before leaping onto his back and snapping his neck. After an unknown period of time in a silent and eerie stalemate, Klein saw the door to Isengard Stanton's house open as a group of policemen in black and white arrived. When they found the nauseating, dismembered corpse on the floor, they drew their revolvers and pointed them at Klein. Despite facing the black muzzles of guns, Klein relaxed. The wordless gaze that seemed to hold a gun at the back of his head disappeared in an instant. Klein raised his hands and laughed helplessly. "I won't say anything until I see my lawyer." My god, Lawyer Jurgen could just unironically live off of Klein at this point. He should just be his sole counsel. Who even fucking cares about anyone else at this point? Backland's Chiswick police station. Chained to a water pipe, Klein met Lawyer Jurgen again. "I will accompany you during the interrogation." There was nothing unusual about Jurgen's expression, as though Detective Moriarty belonged here. Klein sighed and said, "What a tragedy. I should be considering what I will be eating tonight, not talking to some stone-faced officer." The thing he was most thankful for today was due to the Aurora Order's investigation and the attention of the Rose School of Thought's High Sequence Beyonder. He didn't bring any beyond items with him, only his revolver, his only revolver was easily concealed from the body search using a magic-like performance. That's crazy. When he entered the interrogation room, Klein he recounted the letters he received from Isengard Stanton about discussing a case without the police officer's questioning. Later, we'll go to your house with Mr. Jurgen to retrieve those letters. I hope they're still there. The officer in charge of the interrogation switched gears and asked, "How did you get to know Detective Stanton?" "Because of that serial murder case," Klein replied. At this moment, he suddenly froze. It reminded him of something. He always suspected there was a mastermind behind the Devil Dog, the person who had harumphed when the Devil Dog was killed. What the fuck does harumphed mean? Harumphed. Cleared the throat nosily. Interesting. Yes, the book Stan was reading before the attack was The Devil Legends of Civilis Burrow. Could it be that the owner of the Devil Dog is beginning to take revenge after lying low all this time? And Detective Stanton was the person in the police records who provided the main clues or ideas. Furthermore, he was the one who received the bounty as well. Klein quickly had a theory. It looks like diabetes? What the fuck? I assume are you talking about the fairy bread that you were referencing? Fairy bread. Oh, Jesus Christ, that actually looks like diabetes. What the fuck? Look at this. What the fuck is this? This isn't bread. Oh, get this away from me. Oh my god. No, I'll get this off my screen. I'm gonna be sick. Hey, it's not even 7:30 for me, man. I can't look at that much sugar without throwing up, okay? The only sugar I can have this early in the morning is like in coffee or something. Even then, I don't generally take sugar in my coffee, but like I could have a sweet coffee and be okay because of the bitter taste. But fuck that! Oh my god, that looks disgusting. When he thought about the possibility that the Devil Dog's owner was involved, Klein changed his strategy and decided to recount his involvement with Isengard Stanton in great detail. Why? In addition, he took the initiative to mention Isengard's assembly of a team of detectives to investigate the serial murder and the portion of the bounty that they successfully obtained. In that commission, although I only gave some ideas, well, in the jargon of the private detective industry, I provided suggestions, but it was still considered the greatest contribution by Mr. Stanton, so I received the bulk of the bounty. The two officers in charge of the investigation jotted down the information and asked if anyone could prove it. Klein gave them the names of Stewart, Kozlana, and other detectives. Very good, Mr. Moriarty. Your answer is very detailed. How long did he spend in Isengard Stanton's home today? I mean, from the time you entered to the time we found you. About 2 or 3 minutes. What he said was based on what he felt. Another police officer raised his eyebrows and said, "Many residents were able to confirm you entered the house around 2:10, and we arrived at 2:28, which means you were in this house for about 18 minutes, not 2 or 3. What exactly were you doing during this lengthy period of time? Why didn't you leave and call the police?" 18 minutes had passed? He felt that the stalemate he had with the existence while silently watching him lasted for more than a minute. How did it take a full 18? So someone who might be able to either affect someone psychologically or be able to fuck up their sense of time? Interesting. Was it the strange feeling of being watched that confused my grasp of time, or something else? Is it the beyonder powers of the other party? If he really was the owner of the Devil Dog, they would at least be a Sequence 6, with a high probability of being a Sequence 5. Klein pondered. Jurgen leaned forward, ready to accuse the police of posing leading questions. That was not a very good reason, but he simply wanted to use this method to interrupt the pace of the interrogation and delay the unfavorable question. At this moment, Klein raised his hand to rub his forehead. What I said was the truth. What I felt, based on what I felt, only 2 or 3 minutes had passed. Upon saying that, he emphasized, yes, based on what I felt. The two officers exchanged looks before writing down the statement. First of all, if you're ever arrested, well, one, pray you're never in this situation, but two, if you ever are, okay, it's really simple. There's a name for this. I can find it in a second, but upon facing traumatizing events, your sense of time gets fucked up. Tachyphrase. What the fuck? Dyschronia? I think dyschronia, I think it is. So like if you're ever in that situation, it's like really simple. It's like, dude, it was really traumatic. I don't know, my sense of time is fucked, okay? After a moment of silence, the officers who had asked the question said, during those 18 minutes, a servant who came back from the outside of the house rang the bell, but no one answered. So he looked in through the oriel window and saw the floor full of corpses, and that you were standing in the doorway. He was terrified, running to the police like a madman, and many passerbys and residents had confirmed that. Klein ignored the look in Lawyer Jurgen's eyes and shook his head. I didn't hear the doorbell. The two officers exchanged looks again, but made no comments. All they did was jot down what was said. They asked questions about other details, and Klein, who had done nothing and was free from guilt, answered every question truthfully. In the end, he couldn't help but ask, did you find Detective Stanton? It didn't seem like the activity room had a corpse. He's likely to be alive, right? The police officer tapped on the table and said, that's one of the things we're wondering about. Only the activity room had signs of fighting, and the windows were closed, and they hadn't been opened for days. As you know, it's very normal to do so during Backlund's autumn and winter seasons. Better Call Saul. Actually, when shit hits the fan, you don't want a criminal lawyer. You want a criminal lawyer, yo. The attacker and Stanton left the room in a strange way, but we found no trace of them anywhere. Else in the house or in the neighborhood, not even blood. Interesting. The plot thickens. Could the person be a traveler or have a thing or like a bracelet like Forrest does to that helps him sort of travel to the spirit world? Without waiting for Klein to speak, he questioned before answering his own question. You definitely wish to mention the activity room's door and the door to the house, but many people have confirmed that there was no pursuit nearby. Nor was anyone taken hostage or a corpse moved away. Maybe it really happened in the middle of the night. Maybe they were able to go through walls. Klein silently offered other possibilities in his mind and silently prayed. May the goddess bless Detective Stanton and that he escaped from disaster. The Evernight Goddess was the Empress of Disaster and Horror. Is that really who you want to pray to? The Empress of Disaster and Horror? That sounds like that sounds like the worst person to pray to, no? When the interrogation was over, Klein was remanded in the small room, and the police sent someone to pick up the letters as evidence. It wasn't until the evening that Klein finally admitted bail, posting a sum of £50. Jesus. Have you been engaged in any tomfoolery or buffoonery? Your Honor, the cop can't ask me that. I was sleeping with his mother. Does that count as tomfoolery, bitch? Sorry, the Better Call Saul reference got me thinking like Jesse. Okay, I can't help it. It's much more expensive than last time. It's difficult for the average detective to produce that much cash in a short amount of time. After leaving the police station, Klein pulled up the collars of his tweed coat and complained to Jurgen. Jurgen wore a professional instead look. The situation was favorable last time, but this time, much more evidence points to you. Sherlock, I'm your lawyer. Before you answer the policeman's question, it's best that you communicate with me, even if it's just sending me a look. Don't speak carelessly, even if you feel there are no problems. Ordinary people who haven't been trained will easily say things that trip them up. I'm used to fabricating my own stories and solving my own problems. Klein laughed in his mind. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Without another word, Jurgen boarded the carriage. Klein sat down across from him and thought about the Isengard Stan's attack. As he was thinking, he suddenly heard the rumbling sound of his stomach. It's already past my dinner time. He didn't want to waste money on and any more energy preparing food, so he began to think which restaurant was worth looking forward to. At that moment, Jurgen raised his eyelids and said, I've asked my grandmother to prepare dinner for 3. How can I impose on you? Klein was startled before laughing. Mrs. Doris's cooking skills are always something to look forward to. At that time, they got back to the Minsk Street in Sherwood Borough. The sky was completely dark, and the street lamps were even brighter than the indistinct red moon in the sky. After having dinner at Jurgen's house and having fun with the cat, Klein strolled back to Unit 15. He habitually rummaged through the letterbox and found a copy of the Backland Evening News. Klein opened the door with the newspaper in hand as he put away the cane and realized something was wrong. His spiritual intuition told him that a stranger had entered his house. Was it the police who came to collect the evidence? Klein looked around warily and saw a letter on the coffee table. There should have only been newspapers there. Klein entered the living room warily in preparation for an attack. He moved closer to the coffee table, and during the entire process, the surroundings were completely silent without the slightest hint of abnormality. Glancing down at the letter, Klein took out a pair of black gloves and wore them before opening the letter. There was a thin piece of paper inside the envelope. After unfolding it, a dark red color was immediately reflected in Klein's eyes, and the faint smell of blood lingered on his nose. Words were written on the piece of paper with coagulated blood. All of you will die. Whoa, I'm getting some Volume 1 callbacks. What the fuck? Well, if it actually is In Song-Will, he's about to die for the second time now. And I feel like he's going to be way more... I know, the problem is, I guess if In Song-Will finds out about Klein, he is going to put him down for real. Because he'll put him down and then just keep his corpse or whatever, so that when he resurrects to just kill him again, so it can't be him, because he is fucked if he is. Is it the owner of the Devil Dog? Is he taking revenge on the people who caused his subordinate's death? This is truly a case of bullying the weak and fearing the strong. Why not directly the Nighthawks responsible for the cleanup? Klein's heart tightened and many thoughts flashed past his mind, but he quickly dismissed his complaints. It was very normal to exact vengeance on the person that one could handle. Just like his past in the few months in Backland, he never thought of finding In Song-Will, but he never gave up his pursuit of Lanavis. After looking around, Klein gradually found this matter a little confusing. Isn't he afraid of being caught by the official Beyonders? Is this acting required for his potion? Or rather, is this because Detective Isengard escaped and he knows that he can't get rid of his targets in secret, so he switched his method? What's the reason behind this? Also, when I was at Detective Stanton's house, he was clearly watching me. Why didn't he make a move? Was he apprehensive towards an ordinary detective like me? No, impossible. Does he know I'm a Beyonder? I guess it's possible. Due to the side effect of me getting lost due to the Master Key, I had met with the Devil Dog, and it saw my body and how I looked. And although I was disguised, I can't be certain that a devil can see through it. Perhaps after the incident, it was able to present the scene to its owner in some way. However, at that time, I couldn't even defeat the Devil Dog, so I could only run away pathetically. What's there to be afraid of? Unless he's worried about something, such as an injured Isengard Stanton who might be hiding nearby. Did you write to me openly, thinking that I, a wild beyonder, wouldn't dare seek help from the officials? With his head filled with questions, Klein inspected the house and walked all the way up to the second floor. When he opened the bedroom door, another letter came into view. The letter lay quietly on his desk, as though it had been waiting for a long time. He opened the letter and saw the dark red words, "You're next." How arrogant. Klein couldn't help but sigh. At this moment, he suddenly had a thought. He raised his head and looked out the window. Across him were a few two-story houses with their lights on. The glow of the street lamps fell on the outer walls, creating a crisscrossing zone. All of a sudden, the shadow in the area squirmed and twisted, forming a black shadow in a tailcoat. The shadow raised its right hand, gesturing in the shape of a gun, and pointed at Klein. Then it retracted its arm and blew at the gun's muzzle. Immediately after, it silently fell back, transforming into countless disconnected shadows. Interesting. Alright, well, if there's going to be a fight in the next couple of chapters, let me know so I can get the fight music ready. Whatever this Shadow Beyonder is, it's the same one that that was spying on the sun in the City of Silver, eh? Chapter 413. Visitors. Inside the Rice police station, which was in charge of Minsk Street and the surrounding districts, Klein shook his head with the officer who escorted him out. This threatening letter must have had something to do with the previous serial murders. Oh, sorry, Milos. I don't mean it's the same Beyonder. Sorry, I meant it's the same pathway. I'm wondering what that pathway is. Sorry, I don't mean the same person. Klein shook his head with the officer who escorted him out. This threatening letter must have had something to do with the previous serial murders. The organization of the detective team, the great detective Isengard Stettin, has already been attacked. Please, take it seriously. The police officer retraced his hand and said, "Don't worry, Mr. Moriarty, we definitely won't ignore your suggestion and immediately report it to the higher-ups." Thank you so much. Klein put on his hat and walked out the door. After seeing the two threatening letters and the provocation from the suspected Devil Dog Master, Klein didn't hesitate to bring evidence to the nearby police station to report it. He secretly hoped that the matter would be transferred to the mandated punishers or the hive mind as quickly as possible, so that he could be put under the protection of official Beyonders. Although he no longer had any reason to keep his identity as a detective, being fully capable of giving up his residence at 15 Minsk Street and switching to another residence and identity, he suspected that this might be the purpose of the author of that threatening letter. Using fear of wild Beyonders being exposed, the perpetrator was forcing him to flee under the cover of night. Then during his process, he could seize the opportunity to launch an attack. So someone who's trying to get him to stop being a detective. It could be the Devil Dog Master. Couldn't it also be someone involved with the whole Capim incident and trying to get them to back off? Well, I don't know if Isengard was looking into the Capim case, but that could be. By the way, what happens to like wild Beyonders if they're caught? Like if, let's say, the Nighthawks bring him in or the Punishers bring him in or whatever, what happens to him? Like, do they throw him in jail? Do they have no way to connect Sherlock? They have no way to connect Sherlock to Capim? Yeah, I see that, but I'm thinking more recently. I guess it could be the owner of the Devil Dog. It would make sense. Klein's generally been fighting people 2 sequences above him on average. So sometimes they take them in as informants, imprisoned. No, that shadow from the City of Silver was a shadow ascetic from the secret suppliant pathway. Yeah, but so could this guy be, no? What does ascetic even mean? I know I looked this up before when that word was. Severe self-discipline, abstention from all sorts of indulgence. I see. Okay. Just got back to the campus. Hey, Sin, how's it going, man? How you doing? They also use them as test subjects for sealed artifacts. Jesus Christ. That is fucked. Okay, so the answer is he definitely doesn't want to get caught. Okay. That's actually quite a situation. Actually, it's quite a suitable time to attack me while I was heading over to the police station to report the incident. It's the same as when I got home. That fellow has other plans. Confused and wary, Klein returned to Minsk Street. As soon as he got out of the carriage, he immediately saw a figure loitering in front of his house with the help of street lamps amid the drizzle. Klein's heart skipped a beat, but he immediately relaxed as he recognized the visitor. It was Stewart, a slim private detective. But I can't be careless. What if the subsequent sequence of Devil has a power similar to Faceless? Klein gripped his cane tight and slowly approached. Detective Stewart abruptly turned his head and nervously said, "Mr. Moriarty, I received a threatening letter. It said all of you will die." You received it as well? Klein blurted out in surprise. Stewart's eyes was also one of the detectives that Isengard Stanton had gathered for the investigation. Stewart's eyes widened abruptly. You received it too? Yes, Klein nodded. More than one, actually. What should I do? First I went to visit Mr. Stanton, but I heard that he was attacked, so I immediately came to you. Oh, thank God for his blessings. I was about to leave. Klein pointed to the door. Let's talk inside. After entering the living room, Klein excused himself to the bathroom and hurriedly went above the Grey Fog to perform 2 divinations. First, to confirm the person was indeed Stewart, and second, confirm if there was any relatively serious danger that night. He received a revelation of both. He received a revelation confirming both. So there will be serious danger, and that is Stewart. Okay. Now remember how in the Nighthawks records they were mentioned how many people died when they were testing the effects of the Sealhawks? Oh shit. The plot thickens. Okay, I'm gonna need to make that fucking the plot thickens. I'm gonna need to make that an emote. I will get to it in time. I will get to it. The plot thickens, and there's got to be an interesting meme or something that I can make into a thing as well. That would definitely limit the level of chaos. Yeah, exactly. The plot thickens. Yeah. I can just find one of Randy Feldface, I'm sure. Oh my god, I love this. Oh no, you guys can't see it. Hold on. Ah, I love this. We can do this. Oh no. Well, I guess I can. Oh, the plot thickens. This is great. I love this. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Sorry for the scheduled chaos, but yeah. Okay, where was I? In other words, Stewart wasn't the enemy in disguise, and it would be a night of considerable danger. I feel like this would be a time for Klein to reach out to Miss Bodyguard, if he can. Of course, that danger might not happen right in front of Klein, but someone might be wiped out in secret. It was the limitation of his divination. All he could receive was a revelation of certain degree, but not the entire answer. He was able to get a precise answer. He was unable to get a precise answer. Keep ASIC on speed dial? Ah, true. I do want to see more of Miss Sharon. I'm not going to deny it. Fuck it. Furthermore, the limitations of mysticism couldn't be solved by techniques such as exclusion or dichotomy. Returning to the real world, Klein pressed the mechanical button of the toilet bowl, and amidst the splashing water, he washed his hands and opened the door. Sharon is always a W. Love her. Based. Stuart, would you like coffee or tea? Stuart stood up and shook his head. No, we should discuss the problem first. Although I've received many threatening letters in the past, none of them compared to what I got today. He must have written them using fresh blood. My intuition tells me he will take action and has the ability to do so. By the way, was Mr. Stan attacked by the same person? I think so. This is likely something to do with a previous serial murder case. The common thing that you, me, and Mr. Stan had in common was that case. Stuart's reaction is a little too extreme. Is he spooked by the attack on Stan? At the same time, Klein was carefully observing Stuart. Being infected by his attitude, Stuart calmed down significantly and said, "It seems to be the case." Before he could finish his sentence, tinkling sounds suddenly echoed in the room. Someone rung the doorbell. Stuart instantly jolted like a frightened bird. Klein frowned and looked at him before he got up to head to the door. As he touched the handle, he saw the scene appear outside in his mind. The visitors were Detective Kozlana and her red-haired assistant Lydia, and several other men who looked familiar. Enough, and you leave body pillows. Would you buy a? I would never buy any body pillow, Milos. They're all private detectives who Mr. Stanton had assembled, as expected. He pulled open the door and took 2 steps back. With bushy eyebrows and slightly drooping cheeks, Kozlana looked at Klein and Stuart, who was behind him. Without exchanging pleasantries, she bluntly said, "We all received the same threatening letter, so I believe you guys did too?" Sharon is the best. Agreed. Yes, Klein replied. Kozlana didn't shy away from exhaling a breath of white mist. We were all assembled by Mr. Stan to investigate the serial murder. That's the only thing we have in common. I think so too. Klein pointed inside his house. Let's talk. Watching the 6 private detectives enter, Klein quickly analyzed the intention of the Devil Dog's master to stir up such a huge commotion. It'll attract the attention of official Beyonders soon. Who knows? There might even be a demigod powerhouse guarding this area. So, how will he take his revenge? He's just being proactive, making the military and the Beyonders from the 3 churches send people out to protect them to protect all these private detectives. With the official Beyonders not daring to be negligent, it will scatter personnel and exhaust them by making them run around. Is this all to take revenge on the main target of the attack from back then? In the process, he might even have a chance to kill some official Beyonders. As for the private investigators, he will only take action much later, once their wariness has relaxed. Of course, if probes such as this give an opening, he definitely wouldn't let it go. To devils who can sense danger ahead of time, this is a method that plays on their strengths. But the churches, together with the military and the royal family, have many experts in artifacts. They have no lack of demigods, or grade 0 and 1 artifacts. Is the master of the devil dog so certain that there are no powers or items that can restrain him? No, even he wouldn't dare. If I can beg my dad enough, I can manage to get The official powers, especially the Nighthawks, Punishers, and Hive Mind, have been fighting devils for who knows how many years. In the 4th Epoch, even in the more ancient 3rd Epoch, there was no lack of similar deeds. The Master of the Devil Dog is at most a sequence 5. As long as anything goes wrong to the point of nothing going wrong, he can be torn apart by a demigod or a terrifying artifact. How would he dare make such attempts? Or it could be said that he's simply toying with the officials, and that he wouldn't act, doing it again and again. Body pillars are scary. I don't I don't find them scary. I just, it's just depressing. Romero Revelations Live. Yes, yes, there's another possibility. Using the threatening letter, he's able to get more than half of the targets together. Using that, then using the official Beyonders' counterbalancing of each other and the procedural bureaucratic tendencies, creating a time delay. The attack on Isengard must have been handed over to the Hive Mind, who's in charge of superficial affairs in the Hillston Borough. But the ones who killed the Devil Dogs were mainly comprised of Nighthawks. The two organizations definitely don't communicate in detail much. Oh wait, is there a chance Klein runs into Leonard here? Or soon? Yeah, as a result of this? Well, it can be assigned based on Mr. Stanton's faith. Which faith does he believe in? I don't seem to recall. In short, so many private investigators living in different districts and different fates. The division of jurisdiction is a troublesome matter, and joint operations aren't easy. At this moment, the ones protecting us should be 2 or 3 groups of official Beyonders. At the very most, they would at most be levels of deacons. And they wouldn't use sealed artifacts which are too powerful or dangerous. Even a demigod high-sequence Beyonder wouldn't directly gaze over to us that quickly. Or wouldn't direct their gaze over to us that quickly. If you think there is, do a divination? Sure, why not? Fuck it. I just need an excuse to gamble, Dr. Z. Don't you even worry about it. Are you feeling lucky? 'Cause I am. Fuck yeah. We will get to meet Leonard in the next 20 chapters. Heads. It has been confirmed by the gods. Oh, don't feel bad, Dr. Z. I would have done it without you anyway. Don't worry about it. Because it's like, now Klein gets arrested and Leonard becomes the MC. Fuck you, dude. That would have been a plot. Hold on. This would give the Devil Dogs Master a chance. Although 3 to 4 groups of official Beyonders can definitely kill one or even more than a high sequence, or even more of a high sequence, holy fuck, of a sequence 5. As long as he takes advantage of the situation, there's a good chance he can escape. Klein was able to deduce 2 or 3 possibilities in just 20 or 30 seconds. Thinking of the divination outcome that indicated that there would be significant danger, Klein thoughtfully nodded his head and said, "Have you called the police?" There are almost half of the people who were assembled back then gathered here. Representing the rest, Kazlana replied, "Some have called the police, while others tried to call Stanton or other friends. Finally, all of us got together and discussed visiting you, the great detective." Yes. Klein gently nodded and said, "Everyone, don't be too nervous. The person who sent the letters should be trying to get revenge for that serial murder, but he's only one person, with at most a companion or 2. As for us, we have 8 detectives, all skilled in combat and shooting, so why should we be afraid?" Get good. By the way, get good is spelled like this, okay? Besides, besides, we were not the only ones who assembled, who were assembled by Mr. Stanton. It must be the same for those who received the threatening letters. They just didn't end up meeting, or come to visit me. Upon hearing the words, Kazlana and her assistant revealed doubtful expressions as if they were unsure. Another detective took a deep breath. "Mr. Moriarty, perhaps it's as you say. We need not be afraid. But he's a sinister snake lurking in the dark. No one will know when he launches an attack. and no one can guard against it. Furthermore, he might even harm our family members. Family members? Oh, my wife! No, my little angel! The detectives were instantly overwhelmed by their emotions and exaggerated reactions. Standing behind Klein, Stewart was trembling with fear and anger. No. I don't want that, he murmured, as almost losing control of his emotions. Just as Klein and Kazlana attempted to calm him down, Stewart suddenly drew his gun and aimed it at the back of Klein's head. His eyes were gazed over and his emotions seemed to have completely overwhelmed him. What the fuck? This guy out of his goddamn mind? Chapter 414, Desire Apostle. That seems like a name of a fucking sequence from the Devil Pathway. It actually also kind of does sound like one of the Assassin Pathway, if I'm honest. Desire always feels like it has something to do with assassins, so it might actually be of that pathway. The plot chickens. Sorry, give me 1 second. All right. All right, let's go. I was always interested in the cases in the ICU who were backstabbers like how Klein is. While Stewart was raising his gun to Klein, who had long been on his guard, he already detected it. He lunged forward at the same time as Stewart performed his series of actions. Bang! Stewart, who was clearly out of control, pulled the trigger, and the bullet grazed the side of a private detective's face as it hit the wall. The plot thickens a lot at the end of this volume. Okay, well, we're only like 70 chapters away, so if all goes well, we should be finished in like, I don't know, by like Tuesday at the most, maybe Wednesday. So, you know. Instantly, the other detectives pulled their revolvers as a result. It was as if they were all looking at the enemy, turning the scene chaotic. Oh. Hold on. Oh, I see, that's what I did. That's silly. Okay, yeah. Among them, Stewart and the private detectives had flushed faces and bulging veins. Their eyes burned with a mixture of fear and anger. At this moment, Kazlana bellowed, "Stop!" Her voice wasn't loud, but filled with awe. It made everyone tremble, and their consciousness complied. Is Kazlana a lawyer? Because that seems nuts. Although there was a brief moment of silence, everyone's mood didn't seem to improve. Klein had already rolled over to the other side and stood up with a revolver in his hand. Hold on, we're at boss music. Although there was Although there was a brief moment of silence, everyone's mood didn't seem to improve. Klein had already rolled over to the side and stood up with a revolver in his hand. His mind raced, and he couldn't afford to hide his thoughts. He planned to rely on his hallucination ability to calm down the few visitors. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. A few of the private detectives suddenly became alert, and their eyes revealed a hint of lucidity. The tinkling of the doorbell was like a bucket of cold water that poured over their heads. Stewart looked at the revolver in his hand and mumbled in a daze, "What was I doing just now?" Okay, it could be stress, but the fact that he just was about to straight up fucking execute Klein makes me think the Beyonder might actually have something to do with this. Sorry, let me just quickly pull up the Devil Pathway really quickly. Okay. criminal, keen sense, whatever, ancient name. The moment they lose control and revel in their evil desires, they look inhuman, whatever the fuck, I don't care. Has a great deal of knowledge about rituals and likes to no, I don't care. Okay, so they might gain some powers, sort of like an instigator or provoker. Interesting. Because, or I guess it could just be stress, but that feels wild. Have to go. Alright, thanks for popping by, G. I appreciate it, man. Stewart, yes. The official Beyonders have made their move. Klein breathed a sigh of relief, approaching the door as he held his revolver. The moment he held the handle, the image of the person outside appeared in his mind. Isengard Stanton. The detective's face was somewhat pale, and his left arm was propped up near his shoulder. He is really all right. Klein was delighted at first, but then became cautious. He remembered the day when Marionettist Rosego had transformed into a constable to knock at his door. Klein placed his finger on the trigger, pulled the door open, and took 2 steps back. Isengard smiled and nodded at him. Thank you for your visit this afternoon. Otherwise, I might not have been able to continue playing hide-and-seek with that devil. You saved my life. Could it be the correct interpretation of a suitable date? Of visiting Isengard? Is it that by visiting him, I was able to get him out of trouble? What about the next few days of suitable dates? By skirting around the murder scene, I wouldn't be suspected. Klein didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't let down his guard as he made way. What exactly happened? We'll talk later. Isengard suddenly lowered his voice and laughed. Do you wish to discuss the subject of Beyonders in front of Stewart and others? So you're mentioning Beyonders to me so naturally? That's right. I was able to remain in a deadlock with the master of the Devil Dog for more than 10 minutes. That's enough proof that I'm no ordinary person. Besides, the suggestion I previously offered pointed straight at the devil-turned animal. Upon seeing this great detective, Kozlana and her assistant Lydia let out a sigh of relief, and so did the other detectives. Are you alright, Mr. Stanton? They asked. A little injured, but not too badly. Okay, everyone, don't be nervous. This will be over soon. The police are waiting for that bastard in the darkness nearby. Is it because of the serial murders? Have you locked onto the suspect? Will he hurt the innocent? The private detectives asked. Isengard pressed down his palm. Don't worry. I'll tell you the details in the time to come. But before that, I need to find out a few things from Sherlock and Kozlana. We'll head to the activity room for a few minutes. How much? I know! This man has so much aura! Everyone's a private detective, but they're like, oh my god, our savior is here. He's okay. We'll live. By the way, for the first time ever, I put honey in my tea, as everyone was always suggesting. Ugh, it tastes so much worse. What the fuck? He's more of a Sherlock than Klein, yes, perhaps. Oh wait, that's so funny. That's so funny. I called Isengard Sherlock the first time we met him. That's so funny. His accumulated prestige made the detectives sit down without rebutting. Although they were still worried, they no longer had the problem of fretting or suddenly losing control of their emotions. After entering the activity room and closing the door, Klein took a look at the enclosed room and suddenly thought of something. It's tea, so I understand. No, like, I've gotten used to the taste of the tea in general, but like with honey, it tastes awful. Oh god. This kind of environment is very suitable for using items like the biological poison bottle. Klein cleared his throat and opened the window. He didn't relax his wariness against Isengard, nor did he believe that Kozlana was absolutely trustworthy. Isengard looked around, directly taking Klein's reclining chair before chuckling. Being old, I like to sit like this. Sitting on the single sofa, Klein asked again, Mr. Stanton, what happened? Isengard looked at Kozlana, who was standing behind the coffee table, and said, we're all Beyonders, so I won't explain pertaining to general knowledge. Hold on, we might get confirmation. Holy shit, okay, we're cooking. Beyonders? Kozlana first looked at Klein, then Isengard, a little surprised, but not that shocked. Person nerd, I don't believe I've seen you here before. How you doing? I like honey mixed with, I don't know. The honey in the tea just it just tastes bloody awful. Jesus Christ. So it turns out that you're a Beyonder also. Why were you stumped against a weak ghost back then and unable to discover the problem? Yes, perhaps she's from a Seek Shadows or Wraiths. Isengard smiled. I once went to Lenberg for 4 years of study. When I came into contact with the Beyonder world and became a believer of the God of Knowledge and Wisdom. The God of Knowledge and Wisdom is the reader pathway. Is stream's lagging? Interesting. Okay, give me 2 seconds, guys. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Let's try this. Okay. I think that should be better now. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna wait a couple of seconds to make sure it's okay. It's still poor. Interesting. I'm wondering if it's okay now. Okay. It's good now? Okay. Alright, bye Nightwalker. Okay, interesting. Sorry. I'm wondering if I should refresh or this is fine. I don't like this. Okay. I think I'll leave it for now. I think we should be okay. But if we have any, if it starts to lag again, let me know. I don't know what the fuck's happening with my internet. This shit's killing me. Okay. After returning to Backland, I gradually established a good relationship with the military, Church of the Evernight, God of Steam, and Machinery, but I didn't dare reveal my true identity, because the Punishers would definitely eliminate me as a cult's heretic. On this matter, the other official organizations wouldn't help me directly, because that would be equivalent to starting a war with the Church of Storm. As expected of the Tyrant's Church. Tyrant? Klein asked. Isengard took out his pipe and only sniffed the tobacco. How the mighty first world country fall. Okay, fuck you. Okay, it should be fine. I don't know. Yeah, but mine just occasionally tends to give us trouble. Because there isn't a fucking Ethernet cord that runs up to my room. So like we have to have this really complicated mesh of like 5 different routers that ping off of the main one. Like it's a fucking mess. When it works, it's amazing, but then like it doesn't work often. So yeah, it's kind of nightmarish. Yes. This is what our church internally calls the Lord of Storm. Alright, let me first return to what happened today. The person who attacked me and delivered the threatening letter to you is the master of the serial killer from before. You should know that the murderer is a black dog of the devil sequence, especially Sherlock. You were the first to point out the devil might be an animal. Client smiled, neither denying nor admitting it. Kazlana also clasped her hands together, not saying a word. Don't worry, I'm not an enforcer, but as a believer of the God of Knowledge and Wisdom, I can't preach in Backland or officially establish an organization. I can only rely on you and others like you for help. Church harassing. Oh, I see. Church. Yeah, sure, I can write that down. We'll do organizations. Church of Knowledge and Wisdom, internally called the Storm Church of the Tyrant. And then I will just do, and then I'll put in lore that Isengard is a believer of the. Isengard is a believer in the Church of Knowledge and Wisdom. Okay, dope. Where was I? In other words, you can help us take the blame, Klein mocked inwardly. The Devil Dog's master is a Sequence 5 expert. Yes, according to what I know, the Devil Pathway Sequence 5 is Desire Apostle. They can control and use others' emotions and desires, enticing them to be corrupted. Oh, I was right. It does kind of work like a provoker or instigator. Dope. Okay. All right, sequences. Criminal. Sequence 5. Desire Apostle. Control and use everyone's emotions and desires, enticing them to be corrupted. Okay, dope. Let's go. When facing a Desire Apostle, one mustn't have feelings that are too intense. One mustn't make or exhibit overt desires, otherwise they'll immediately be remotely controlled by him. Otherwise, a seed might be planted in them or have it catalyzed immediately. This will make others exhibit many problems as they gradually become corrupted. They may be also able to lose control of their emotions at a critical moment and be unable to put up any resistance. This is a portion of the Beyonder powers a Desire Apostle has. I have confirmed these aspects from my battle with him. Upon hearing this, Klein suddenly understood one of the reasons why the culprit had sent out threatening letters and made such provocative actions. He wanted to anger us, make our emotions experience violent changes so that he could corrupt or catalyze our emotions. This would make his follow-up attack simpler and easier. Fortunately, I'm a Beyonder who has experienced many things. At that time, all I had was vigilance and caution. When Stuart and the others saw the threatening letter, their emotions changed, so the Desire Apostle planted a seed in them. If we hadn't been able to stabilize them in time, the situation would have become chaotic with eternal strife, giving the surrounding official Beyonders little time to react, and thus the Desire Apostle ample opportunity. Back when I was at Isengard's house, I felt the time move slowly. Was it because of a magnification of the sudden increase in vigilance and other emotions? Klein thought back and felt lucky. So that's how it is. Kazlana seemed to gain an understanding of many things. Isengard rubbed his temples and said, I almost manipulated him, which resulted in my injuries. Afterwards, I used a mystical item to play hide and seek in my house. It was only when Sherlock visited, and the three sides came to a stalemate, did I get a chance to have a breather. My poor assistant was looking forward to returning to Lenberg for Mass. When the police arrived, I took the opportunity to escape and use the river to escape the pursuit. Sherlock, Kazlana, how do you plan on handling the issue? After a moment of silence, Kazlana said, Stanton, do you have any suggestions? First, take the protection of official Beyonders, preventing the Desire Apostle from daring to take action. While this is happening, we should hope that he's quickly killed or caught. If our hopes aren't met, It's impossible that the official Beyonders would allocate people to constantly protect us. Then we would only have two choices. First, to change our identity, including our families. However, no one could guarantee that the Desire Apostle wouldn't discover this. Second, join a corresponding official organization and become external members. That way our identities and place of residence will change as well, but it's much safer. Klein, he thoughtfully asked for advice. Are there no other solutions? At the same time, there was no change in Kazlana's expression. It was unknown what she was thinking. Isengard rubbed his pipe and said, yes, that is, we join forces to create ample opportunity, quickly find and detain the Desire Apostle. Of course, the perfect outcome would be us killing him. 4:15, The Ring. No, I have not seen, I think I left around sequence, what the fuck? I think I left around episode 4 of, To Be Hero X Ramiro. I have to watch all of the new ones. I've heard they're really good, but I haven't watched them yet. I've just been trying to get a fucking handle on my sleep schedule, dude. I'm so fucked. No, I have not. That's good. Yeah, no, the series has been good from the get-go. It's been very good. The ring. Oh, is it referring to the ring that Isengard is wearing because he is the Eye of Wisdom? I think so. The plot chickens. Klein didn't have too long of a response in Klein didn't have too big of a response in regards to Isengard's suggestion. He looked at the tightly closed door of the activity room and said, as far as I know, a devil can predict danger before we take action and even determine the source of the danger. It's hard to, thus providing an effective response. It's hard to find and restrain them. Yes, that's indeed the case, but it doesn't mean there are no solutions. I'm still sad you didn't get a tinfoil hat. Yeah, if my, what did you even tell me to get a tinfoil hat for last stream? I feel like I didn't even say anything that crazy. I don't even remember. I don't know. I feel like I didn't say anything crazy enough to warrant that. I fought him head on and witnessed the beyonder powers of predicting danger, so I have a rough idea of the strengths and weaknesses. A devil can indeed detect danger, but it can be done so quite a significant period of time prior. As long as we make plans and take decisive actions that target him, he would receive the corresponding premonition. Of course, it has to be something that can really harm him. And you make theories, put on a tinfoil hat for good luck. Hey, it seems like I'm more of the seer pathway than the criminal pathway. It would be against my acting principles to put on a tinfoil hat, okay? Isengard continued. The flaw of premonition is that it can only detect the person and location of the danger, but it doesn't know specific details. We can take advantage of that. Wait, hold on. No, the truth is that the strength and weaknesses of different devils are different. Okay. What opportunity? I don't think we can trap a devil that predicts danger, Kazlana said. Of course, Klein also nodded in agreement. I can use the Grey Fog to deceive the Desire Apostle, making him unable to detect dangers ahead of time, but the problem is, how can I expose the secret of the Grey Fog to you? Isengard chuckled. But you would be acting the clown? Perhaps, but I don't believe that I've been upgraded to the clown yet. I feel that I have broken down the majority of the potion, but I need one big theory to come true before I fully digest it. Then we can start doing some tomfoolery. Isengard chuckled. It's true that it wouldn't work normally, but the Beyonder world is full of incredible things. I'm a Sequence 7 knowledge keeper of the Reader pathway, also known as Detective! Yahoo! Let's go! Okay, we made it. Okay, that's dope. By honestly telling you this, it's a way of showing my sincerity in cooperating. In this situation, I think honesty is more important than anything else. Only a sequence 7? How does a sequence 7 escape from a Desire Apostle? It seems like he has a truly powerful mystical item. Does a Knowledge Keeper have the ability to suppress the Devil's premonition powers? As Kazlana asked, no. However, I have a ring. It originates from a Rampager at sequence 6 of the Reader pathway. Okay, so sequence 6 is Rampager. Okay, so it seems like once you get to sequence 6 of the Reader pathway, it might be able to grant you some actual useful shit. No, sequence 7, Detective. Sequence 6. Rampager. Oh, oh, I'm stupid. Oh, be under that lost control. I'm stupid. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. It allows me to differentiate, recognize, remember, and mimic all the Beyonder powers I've seen. Of course, against more powerful Beyonders, the chance of failure is high. Dude, that is such a good fucking power. What? Differentiate, recognize, remember, and mimic all Beyonder powers I've seen? So... hold on. So then that makes me think sequence 6 readers are similar, not the same, but similar to a sequence 5 shepherd. Because that feels like very similar to what a shepherd, now not quite, because a shepherd technically takes your soul. This just really understands the power. I don't know, and gives you, because generally, oh my fucking god, a mystical item grants you powers similar to that pathway, right? So sequence 6 must grant you powers similar to the shepherd. Still a nerd pathway? Agreed. Don't get me wrong, I hate the shepherd pathway too, because on principle, I hate anything that gives you the powers of everyone else. Like, that seems crazy. Okay, Rampager. Ability to... okay, not Rampager, because we don't know the name. I'm stupid. Ability to differentiate, recognize, remember, and mimic all Beyonder powers seen. Okay, that actually does seem crazy good. What the fuck? It's like mimicking the powers of the pathway with your own powers if you understand how they work. That's true, but again, I still hate that on principle. I hate the shepherd pathway for the same reason. I think that's cancerous. However, there's a maxim in our church. Omniscience means omnipotence. Not quite, you losers. Omniscience refers to having all knowledge. Omnipotence refers to unlimited power. So basically, that's a long-winded and really big wordsy way to say knowledge is equal to power. Why does it sound so familiar? Furthermore, the description of the item. Klein was about to run through his memories when he saw Isengard take out the ring. The ring was inlaid with many small diamonds. However, they surround a beautiful emerald green gem that looks like a human eye. Oh my god, it's true. We got it. Let's go. Let's go, boys and girls. Oh my god, that was so good. We did it. Just by looking at the ring, Klein felt dizzy as if he had overworked his mind. Isn't this artifact 281? Isengard is old Mr. Eye of Wisdom? Klein looked up in surprise at the detective sitting in front of him. The ring was sealed artifact 281, which Eye of Wisdom had flaunted to him previously and used several times. Maybe, Ramiro. Maybe. I feel like that might have been enough. That was... I called this like 100 chapters back or something crazy. Like, that was real good. Okay. Eye of Wisdom. This codename does sound like it's related to the Church of the God of Knowledge and Wisdom. Is the tomfoolery gonna start? Perhaps. Perchance. Klein, using his clown's ability to control his emotions, to control his expressions as he quietly looked at Isengard. In the end, he found that some of the outlines of the great detective did match the Eye of Wisdom. His ability to disguise himself is impressive. Did he do it with 281? Klein made a rough judgment. If Stan says, let us all work together to resist the Desire Apostle, the most important thing is honesty. I've already described my sequence and mystical items. It's your turns. It's your turn. What do I say? Silently take out the sun brooch which he sold me? At that point, wouldn't he be going? Nice, so it's you, punk. Izzy was so bamboozled when we said you guessed this so early. Oh, let's go. We are so in, boys. My reading comprehension is truly good. While Klein was imagining things, Kazlana looked at the ring Isengard Stanton showed and asked him in envy and puzzlement, what powers are you planning on mimicking to resist the Desire Apostle's ability to predict danger? Because I feel like I predicted all of this, right? I predicted that he was of the detective pathway, and I predicted that he was the Eye of Wisdom. I feel like that was a great premonition. What the fuck? Isengard curled the corners of his lips and chuckled. The premonition that devils have towards danger. At that moment, he looked like a hoary fox. Wait, that actually works? Klein was momentarily unable to figure out his intricacies. Hold on. So wait, he's planning to mimic the power of a devil because if he plans his attacks while being a devil, the other devil wouldn't be able to sense it, because if he did sense it, then it would put Isengard in danger, basically. So he's Uno reversing him. Interesting. Seeing Kazlana and Klein puzzled, Isengard laughed and said, first, what we're going to do is draw up a plan that can actually harm the Desire Apostle and begin working on it. Second, the Desire Apostle will sense the danger and know the danger comes from us and that it stems from this place. Third, as a devil without any advanced preparation, there are certain things that are instinctual to him that he cannot change. His first reaction is to definitely kill us or to exact revenge on us, but there will be certain changes to his body, after which he will consider whether the current situation is suitable for a counterattack or not, and whether he should choose to stay away from us. Yes, it's the whole you may have what the fuck did Jonathan Joestar say? You may have outsmarted me, but I outsmarted your outsmarting, sort of thing. Fourth, by mimicking the devil's premonition power, I'll sense the threat of the Desire Apostle and grasp the source of the danger, which is also his present location. That's some godly operation. Klein was actually quite surprised. But what happens after? The Desire Apostle would run away as soon as he realized something is wrong. We wouldn't even have time to chase him. Doubts immediately arose. Isengard smiled and said, according to my deductions, he must be hiding in our surroundings right now. No matter how good he is at remotely controlling the emotions of others, there must be a distance limit, and just now he had led Stuart and the others to lose control. After I escaped his pursuit, the reason why it took me so long to appear was because I was discussing the plan with the Nighthawks, the Hive Mind, and the military. Oh. Nighthawks, Hive Mind, and military. When Mr. A killed the ambassador, the investigator said that there are two sequences that can copy powers of other pathways other than Shepard. They said the name of one pathway, but they didn't know the other one? Was it in my notes, maybe? The world is cooked. Fair. Death. Hold on, so I can just do you guys hold on? Do you guys mind if we quickly just go back and look for it then? It hold on to if you have it written somewhere or you know it offhand, then sure, Dr. Z. But if you don't, I'm happy to just quickly. I checked your notes. You said it's similar to Rose Bishop. Oh, hold on. It's scribed, but I don't know. Scribe, unknown sequence, power similar to and it should have been oh, I see. It should have been Shepherd. Oh, I see. Oh, so sequence 6 is Scribe. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, and Scribe, the name makes so much sense too, because it's not just about copying, it's about recording, analyzing, differentiating. So a scribe makes sense, and that's conceptually too. Based. Okay. Okay. No, not that one. No, it could be another one also. Oh, yeah, because she said there are 2 pathways other than Shepherd that copy powers. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So it may not be Scribe. I see. Okay. Okay. Okay, so 2. Okay, so then immediately 3 out of the 22 pathways are off limits for me. Anything that copies the powers of others is a no-go from my side. So 3 out of 22 pathways are immediate F tier, okay? By the way, in time, once probably once I'm done Lord of the Mysteries, because I can't do it before, or once I get knowledge of all the pathways, I will do a tier list. I think you should know which pathway Scribe is from. My immediate instinct is, for whatever reason, is for Spectator. I don't know why. I feel like Spectator would be a good interpretation. Like, they can, as a Spectator, you're also like a Scribe would make sense in the Spectator pathway in my head. Because a scribe is a spectator, right? A scribe is basically a courtroom reporter. Not quite, but similar. So like someone who doesn't actually partake, but is present for everything. Could be. That's my immediate guess. But I mean, I would have to think it over to get a better understanding. And plus, that would immediately... Oh, that's actually a good point. Because then that would immediately make up for all the inability that a Spectator has for fighting abilities. Because then, like, let's say 9, 8, 7. Like, you don't have any fighting ability. But then you get to 6, and immediately you're right up there with in terms of fighting abilities, because you can copy others. And as a Spectator, you should be taking stuff back. You should be taking in the powers of others, other Beyonders, and then immediately get you caught up in terms of fighting abilities. So the more I think about it, I think that's a pretty good guess. But again, I would have to think more about it. Oh. Sorry about that. Okay, let's get back to reading. They will each send 2 or 3 squads who are in charge of monitoring the nearby districts. The districts all have their code names. This will all be within the Desire Apostle's expectations. Even if he senses the danger, he will only treat it as normal. As soon as I confirm his location, I will inform the official Beyonders, and they will rapidly seal off the corresponding areas and close in on him. But herein lies the problem. How do we inform the official Beyonders? If we're unable to accomplish this within seconds, he will escape. Of course, he might have fled when when what he just did failed, Klein said in thought. If that's the case, we're already out of solutions. There's no plan that's perfect. We can only wait for a particular sealed artifact's activation to complete. When the time comes, the Desire Apostle might have already left Baklan, but he may return any time. He then took out a palm-sized item. It looked like a miniature telegraph, but it also had a trumpet on it. This is a sealed artifact. It can allow my voice to sound out simultaneously up to 5 kilometers. Its negative effect is that once it's activated, all sounds within 5 kilometers will be transmitted to the user's ears for an extended period of time. Of course, I can mimic a Beyonder's power to mitigate this effect. How do you mitigate? Hold on. How do you mitigate hearing everything all at once? What is the power that mitigates this? Is there a Beyonder power that makes you fucking deaf? Since there are official Beyonders involved, there doesn't seem to be any need for our cooperation, Kazlana said. Isengard carefully put on 281 and said, in order to not alarm the Desire Apostle ahead of time, there's a void of power in the nearby district. If the target is really there, the three of us will need to help each other to restrain him as best we can. I have no problem. Klein pondered for a second before agreeing. Kazlana also nodded. Mr. Stanton, there's no need for you to explain so much. After all, we'll cooperate for our own sakes. An explanation is part of the plan. An agreement means there's an operation about to begin. His emerald green gem, the emerald green gem on his ring began to glow with a dark blue light. Isengard suddenly stood up, pointing upwards with a grim expression. He's right here, upstairs. Kazlana and Klein stood up at the same time, ready to snap fingers and light a match on the second floor to jump up directly, while the other followed Isengard towards the door. None of them expected the Desire Apostle to be so bold to remain in the vicinity after a previous machination. Right in 15 Minsk Street.
Machination.
A plot or scheme. Okay. Maybe he was upstairs watching it all with a cold gaze while we were discussing the plan to deal with him. At that moment, he saw Kazlana's eyes turn red and her right hand formed a fist as she punched out Isengard's back where his heart was. This. Klein's pupils contracted as he instantly came to a realization. The reason why the Desire Apostle didn't flee was because he still had other plans. He still had a seed of corruption in someone's heart. Kazlana, one of the only 3 Beyonders here. The reason why the unsuccessful attempt at instigating them was so easily resolved was to let their guard down and wait for the critical moment. The Desire Apostle's biggest target was still Isengard. How crafty. Klein snapped his fingers, but it was only an air bullet that was fired at Kazlana. At the same time, he shouted, "Be careful." Isengard had a lot of experience too. He didn't care what the situation was as he threw himself forward. However, Kazlana ignored the bullet, allowing it to strike her arm and allowing blood to spatter everywhere. She punched Isengard in the back, throwing her entire body forward. Klein heard the sound of bones breaking and the point of contact was the spine. Oh shit! Oh god. But no, there's gotta be, if he's ever seen a prisoner, or someone off the prisoner pathway, he should have a really high, he should be able to get a really good healing factor, so maybe he'll be okay, but that ain't good. He's getting cooked. All bark and no bite looking ass. When Klein saw Isengard Stanton's back cave in, he even felt a faint pain in his spine. Kazlana, on the other hand, stood in her original spot, gasping for breath, with a blank look in her eyes. Her forehead was completely covered in a cold sweat, and there was no follow-up attack. It was as if she had just awoken from a long nightmare caused by her emotions. All the strength in her body had completely disappeared from her previous outburst. What? All the power had disappeared from her previous outburst. Wait, is she of the assassin pathway? I think that was in my notes for the assassin, right? Because I was reading this earlier. Yeah, have Destrict's ability to release all their strength in one blow. Oh, she might be of the assassin pathway. Klein's eyes narrowed as he rushed up to Isengard Stanton. He kneeled and tried to help him up. Isengard, who was sprawled on the ground, said, "Run! Don't worry about me." Obviously, he didn't think that a three-person group, which instantly had one heavily injured member and another losing all their strength, could retain the Desire Apostle. Thus, he told Klein to immediately escape and meet up with the official Beyonders, or all three of them would die right there and then. Should I put on fight music, by the way? Someone confirm or deny. I think so, so I'm going to at least get it pulled up in the time, but yeah, do it. Alright, sounds good. Where's the music? Oh, music. At the same time, Isengard raised his right hand with difficulty, attempting to use some of his Beyonder powers so as to attract the attention of the official Beyonders, who were quite a distance away. As for the tiny telegraph with a trumpet, it had long since flown to the wall because of Isengard's fall. Klein showed hesitation just as he was about to make a decision. He saw a thick black liquid flowing from the ceiling and quickly forming a pitch-black figure. The figure seemed to be completely wrapped in a black curtain, only exposing a pair of cold blue eyes. At the sight of him, Klein felt as if he had seen the most intense emotions and desires of a living being. Fear, wrath, greed, jealousy, hunger, lust. He literally represents the 7 sins. What the fuck? The Desire Apostle didn't waste the situation he painstakingly created. He entered the activity room almost immediately. At this moment, out of the 3-person team, Kazlana was exhausted, while Isengard's spine was severely injured, causing him to lose ability to partake in battle. Only Klein was left. However, other than his revolver and Beyonder bullets, all of his mystical items were above the Grey Fog. Besides, he was facing a Sequence 5 Desire Apostle, a powerhouse capable of nurturing a devil dog. I would have thought that hopefully this would have made him capable of... Hold on. I would have checked that... I would have thought that this fight with the Desire Apostle made Klein completely digest his potion. But he's not prepared at all, which means he's not adhering to his magician principles. But I guess if he makes an illusion of a win, that might do it. At that moment, the corners of Klein's lips curled up. His right hand, which had been placed on a wound on Isengard's back, abruptly swiped, causing the obvious depression to shift to the side and onto a rib. The magician's most miraculous power, damage transfer. It allowed a wound to be transferred once on a body, turning a serious injury into a minor one, but it was unable to be transferred to other people or items. So should I, so in that case, Ramiro, should I read the deleted message and then put that in my notes? If I'm missing something? Because, like, again, I'm not going to lie, there are gaps in my notes, I know for sure. There might even be significant gaps, like lore-wise and stuff, so if we find stuff that, like, I should know but I don't, let me know. I'll Your notes are a bit wrong. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they probably are, dude. My understanding is not. I like to think I have a decent understanding of the thing, of the novel, but don't get me wrong, I don't have a sophisticated understanding of it at all. So, like, I've for sure gotten things wrong. I got no qualms about that. Did you add Bethel Abraham stuff? I think so. We'll check more after. We'll check more after the fight. It's okay. When Klein saw that Isengard was injured, he already thought of the subsequent countermeasures. By first acting as if they were out of solutions to make the Desire Apostle appear, and then transfer the Great Detective's wound to him to leave him only a slight fracture on the ribs, Klein believed that Isengard would be able to deal with the Desire Apostle. It was a struggle for survival that all humans on instinct. It was a struggle for survival that all humans on instinct. Okay, that sentence is fucked. The Life School of Thought didn't have the Planter pathway? I thought for sure they did. I feel like it was written in the same sense. In this way, even if the Desire Apostle realized something was amiss, it'd be too late for him to escape. Once Klein completed the treatment and joined forces with the detective, they'd be able to stall the target enough for the official Beyonders to arrive. Okay, thank you, Milos. Almost at the same time, the ring that Isengard had pointed upward began to produce greenness that was filled with vitality. A faint glow enveloped Isengard's body, allowing his wounds to heal quickly. The fracture on his ribs was instantly healed. The great detective's pain was real, but his helplessness was an act. However, this overlapped with Klein's help. When the Desire Apostle, who was about to take action, saw this scene, his eyes widened and his body stopped. Being free from any ensnarement, he turned around and ran towards the window. During this process, his body quickly collapsed into a sticky black liquid. The liquid seeped into the ground, penetrated the wall, and disappeared. Klein raised his right hand just in time to snap his fingers. The air bullet went through the open window and shot outside, sending sparks everywhere. However, the Desire Apostle had not completely disappeared. He really ran fast without any hesitation. Are you a devil or not? This will only make things worse in the future. The great detective happened to look at him. You're capable of healing wounds? You're capable of healing wounds? The two of them opened their mouths at the same time and asked the same question. After looking at each other, Isengard shook his head and smiled. I never expected that the trap I set would allow him to escape. As he spoke, his ring began to glow, and he looked around to confirm that the Desire Apostle had already left. Isengard then gave a brief explanation. I didn't have the chance to mimic the healing ability this afternoon. Later, I believed that I would use this as to set a trap, and make the Desire Apostle appear by making him think I'm injured. Therefore, I deliberately bundled my wound in an exaggerated manner. Shitty teamwork? Oh yeah. Well, the problem is they didn't really it kind of worked out in a stupid way, but like realistically in a team up like this, you need to tell each other your pathways and your powers. Now, it kind of worked out that they didn't, because if they had told everyone if they had said their powers, the Desire Apostle would have listened to them and then kill them, no doubt. Because now there's information asymmetry, right? But thankfully they didn't. But like in a good team up where that wasn't the case, Isengard would have wanted to say like, hey, here's all the pathways I have access to. Here's the powers. I know, yeah, but no one wanted to say their pathways in sequence. I totally get that, but I'm saying like for a good battle plan, you need to know. It would be like trying to no, I get it. I get why you'd want to trust each other. I do, but or I get that they don't trust each other. I do, but like to make a good battle plan, that needs to be necessary. Sure enough, it worked, but I didn't expect you to be able to deal with serious injuries. Isengard sighed. As a result of both of them healing the wound, their injuries as healing the injuries as their top priority, no one held back the Desire Apostle. So the moment he realized something was wrong, he immediately fled. Both Stanton and I had trump cards that the Apostle didn't know about and wanted to use that to trick him. Who knew that we'd cancel each other out? Is this the so-called two rights make a wrong? Klein couldn't help but laugh. This is because we don't know each other well and didn't have good teamwork. No, it's my fault, Isengard said. When I saw that you didn't run away or defend yourself and instead came over to help, I should have deduced that you weren't flustered and you had confidence in means. But unfortunately, while wearing the ring, my brain remained in a highly taxed state and wasn't able to consider anything. So sealed artifact 281 passively reduces one's intelligence. Klein smiled. Mr. Stanton, it's not the time to discuss who's responsible. The Desire Apostle has fled. We need to consider our subsequent actions. Isengard took off his ring and turned to the detective room. And turned to the door of the activity room. The official Beyonders will be arriving soon. I'll go outside and calm Stewart and the others. After that, we come up with a plan. Are you joining me, or do you plan on handling some of your matters? Interesting. So, I don't know if that's the case, but my guess is the detective pathway or detective potion probably makes you a lot smarter, I would venture to say. And if that's the case, that's why Isengard, even wearing the ring, is like of an average intelligence. He's not smart as Eye of Wisdom, but he's like average. But if someone of average intelligence was wearing that ring, they would just be walking around like, can I get 4 chorizos, 2 Diet Coke? Like, you'd just be fucked. The official Beyonders. Mr. Stanton mentioned the Nighthawks, hive mind, and the military. Please don't be an acquaintance. Yes, my spiritual intuition hasn't warmed me, so probably not. Mr. Stanton has given me a chance to clean up and dispose of any of my sensitive items so I don't get in trouble. Many thoughts flashed past Klein's mind as he said, Mr. Stanton, when you grasped the Desire Apostle's location, where was he? Isengard thought and said, your bedroom, sitting in front of your desk. How arrogant. Klein pointed to the door and said, I'll head over there to investigate. I'll see if he left behind any traces. Many sequences enhance intelligence? Oh, that'd be dope. Those would be my... Damn, I want to say those would be my favorite sequences because that's what I really value in myself. But like, if I'm getting supernatural powers, I don't give a fuck. Okay? I am fine. As long as I can retain my relative current intelligence, I'm fine with it. And then I can just level up everything else. If we can figure out what the Desire Apostle looks like, it'll make apprehending him much easier. I'll leave the rest to you. Alright. Isengard moved to the side and helped up the weak Kozlana. Seeing Kozlana, Klein found it amusing. Having discussed so much and made preparations to set a trap, we still failed to retain the Desire Apostle and ended up like this. There are always more accidents than preparation. That's why Magician is still just a sequence 7. After leaving the room, Klein went straight to the second floor and entered his bedroom. The arrangement inside remained unchanged, and even the distance between the chair and the desk was no different than before. But Klein seemed to see a figure wrapped up in a pitch-black liquid. He sat there, looking straight ahead, waiting calmly for his chance. As expected of a cold blood, Klein looked at the glass panes of the oriel window and felt he could divine if it reflected something. What is this figure he's seeing then? Am I losing? What is this pitch black figure? Interesting. The devil pathway is good at crime, so it wouldn't be easy for him to leave clues behind, but I can go above the grey fog and give it a try. Not long after, Klein inspected the area and began to burn some of his mysticism notebooks in passing. Not long after he finished dealing with the items, he saw a few strangers coming up to the second floor. The leader of the group was a man with a stiff face and a head of frizzled, messy, but stubborn brown hair. In his eyes was an ancient silver mirror with strange patterns. On both sides of the mirror were black stones which were decorated as eyes. It's the Desire Apostle? Yeah, but then how is he seeing the Desired Apostle? What am I missing? How is he? Because he's not just in the room. Erides. Yes, that's what I was thinking. The mirror. We have seen this before. Hello, Mr. Moriarty. I am Eikenzer Bernard of the Church of Steam of God and Machinery. May I inspect this place? No problem. He then politely said, "Do you need me to follow you and answer any of the questions you might have?" "All right. Sorry for the trouble. Mr. Stanton mentioned your situation." Several of his team members followed behind. They treated him differently, some ignoring him, others curious, and others yet filled with hostility. I don't know. That's how I'm pronouncing it. Aerodes? I can't imagine. I don't know how else I would pronounce it. Arodus just sounds wrong. Erodes? Erodes just sounds bad. Because erodes is an actual word. It's just Erodes. My intuition is Erides. I think I'm going to stick with that one. My situation? How exactly did Mr. Stanton introduce me, and what story did he make up? This is where the Desire Apostle sat. Isengard pointed to the chair. Or Eikenzer pointed to the chair. Yes, Klein answered. Without another word, Eikenzer raised the silver mirror and stroked its surface 3 times with his right hand. Honorable Erides, my question is, what did the devil who was previously sitting here look like? The lights around him suddenly turned dark, as if enshrouded by mist and a rainstorm. A strange aqueous glint appeared on the surface of the mirror, forming a scene, and a man in a sticky black liquid sat on the chair. Immediately after, the scene changed. The mirror in the corner vaguely reflected the dark shadow's side profile, which was similarly covered with pitch blackness. But he could vaguely make out an outline. The Desire Apostle had very high cheekbones and a pair of cold-looking blue eyes. The fandom can't decide. Well, we will know when the Donghua comes out for season 2 in I don't know, 4 years. 417 Erides. Ultimate Snitch is hilarious. Seeing the scene in the silver mirror, Klein revealed a pensive expression. The mirror is very powerful and even has its own name. It seems to be a living sealed artifact. Such items might not be too harmful, but the difficulty of sealing is very high. It's seldom used except for special situations. This person named Ikenzer Bernard of the Machinery Hive Mind seems to be high ranked. He should be a deacon, and definitely not a simple one at that. Divination is limited, so the outcome would almost be the same as the results shown by the silver mirror. Even if I go above the grey fog, I wouldn't obtain a better result. There's no way to determine the Desire Apostle's appearance. There are countless people in Backland with high cheekbones and blue eyes. As Klein was in the middle of his thoughts, the scene produced by the silver mirror quickly dispersed. Following that, words on the blood red appeared. Based on the principle of reciprocity, it's my turn to ask a question. If you lie or are unable to answer, you'll have to accept a mission arranged by me or suffer a penalty. Klein pricked up his eyebrows when he saw that. Is this some truth or dare mirror? Interesting. The words, which resembled dripping blood, slowly changed into new characters. What is the Red Light's true name? Red Light? One of the leaders of the Great White Brotherhood? One of the 7 pure lights above the spirit world? Even Klein didn't know the answer. He only knew Yellow Light Venethan. Ikenzer's throat bobbed up and down as sweat gradually appeared on his forehead. After a brief silence, he said, Nanidus? I don't fuck... Dude, what are these names? What the actual fuck is this name? Wrong. The blood-red words on the mirror changed again. Mission or penalty? There was an obvious struggle on Ikenzer's face, but finally he breathed out and said, penalty. Just as he finished speaking, a streak of silver-white lightning appeared out of nowhere and struck his head. With the sizzling sounds, Ikenzer's hair stood on end and his body collapsed. A small amount of black smoke billowed from the body. However, the mirror didn't fall. Instead, it floated by itself and landed on the desk. Dude, that is a fucking... Dude, how does a mirror have this much aura? What the fuck? The mirror dropped the guy holding him and said, fucking pussy, and then sat down on the desk. Yeah, what is this? After 2 seconds, Ikenzer staggered to his feet and sat there, panting while shaking. Klein looked at everything in silence, unsure of how to react. After a while, Ikenzer, who had recovered a little, looked at him and said, You should have heard of sealed artifacts and know they come with negative effects. Yes. Klein looked at him. Klein couldn't help but say, Actually, you could do the questioning alone. There's no need to do it in front of me. The requirement of using the mirror is that someone must be watching by the side. So it's sentient. Klein took 2 steps forward and came to the table. He carefully looked at the mirror out of curiosity and found that, apart from the strange patterns and the 2 decorative eyes, there was nothing special about it. Ikenzer, whose side was facing him, trembled. You can pose questions to him. We don't mind. No, I don't have any intentions to. How could Klein play truth or dare with something like an Ouija board? As he spoke, he tried to touch the edge of the silver mirror. It's ice cold to the touch, but has a metallic feeling. White words quickly appeared on it. Your loyal and humble servant, Erides, at your service. Huh? Klein's mind momentarily went blank. He then left the table without change. What's going on? This mirror is still playing truth or dare with others in a very cold and ruthless manner just a moment ago. How did it become like this in the blink of an eye? Hold on. So Klein touched the mirror and it said, Your humble, loyal servant. What? Okay. Instinctively, okay, I'm gonna guess Eridas has something to do with the space above the gray fog. And Klein, as the ruler above the gray fog, is like its owner. Like everyone else, to use the mirror has to pay a price of admission, so to speak. Like to get on a carnival ride, you need to buy the tickets or whatever, right? But if you own the carnival part, this is not a good analogy at all. Now that I'm saying this, but if you own the carnival park, you don't pay a price of admission. Okay. I am okay. This is going in the theories part really quickly. Hold on. Eridas, magic mirror in possession of the hive mind. Silver Palace. The palace above the gray fog. I sent you in Discord some of the stuff in your notes that are wrong. Oh, thank you, Ramiro. Thanks, buddy. I'll fix them after. I'll fix them after. Off the monster pathway. That's fine. Quick divination for the boys and girls. Oh, we're abusing this so much. Oh, you guys, I never should have seen this in Easy's server. This is so fucked. I'm abusing this so much. Okay, Eridas, the magic mirror, is part of the palace above the gray fog. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm gonna take this one off because this one's been confirmed now. Okay, so I currently have 4 active theories that I can think of. There might be another one that I'm actually missing. No interference. It was heads. Okay, let's get back to reading. Sorry. That is so interesting. What the fuck? Oh, I'm gonna have so much to talk to Easy about next time we talk. He made a guess based on the information he had gathered. The Silver Mirror knows the Red Light's true name, so it seems to be related to the spirit world to a certain extent. Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to add a second theory about Eridas, but this one is less important to me. This one I feel is less likely to be true. Eridas is once again related to the Antigonus family and hence views Klein as a member of the Seer pathway as a descendant. Okay, that's my second theory. That might be a second theory. Oh. Like the book. Are the mysterious space above the gray fog and the mysterious space above the gray fog seems to be connected to the spirit world as well. At the very least, when I summon myself, I will be able to see what happens in the spirit world after passing through the door. Alright, thanks for popping by, DSV. I appreciate it, buddy. Have a great rest of your day. While these thoughts were flashing through Klein's mind, Klein saw that Eikenzer had recovered and stood up again. He grabbed the silver mirror while the two members in the room also stopped pretending that they hadn't seen anything while they were aimlessly searching the room. After a series of inspections, Klein bade Eikenzer and company farewell and found Isengard, who had returned to the activity room. I'm gonna go play Wordle. Alright, let me know if you get it. What do we do next? He asked. Isengard replied, We have Stuart and the others and their families. Let's have Stuart and the others and their families move in together. It'll be easier to protect them. But this is only a short-term solution. You and I, as well as Kazlana, will act normally and receive special protection. Let's hope the Desire Apostle can be found as quickly as possible. You're a believer of the God of Steam and Machinery, right? Yes, Klein replied. At the same time, he lamented a little. For the foreseeable future, I can only go above the grey fog while in the bathroom. God of the bathroom. Lord of the bathroom, rather. In the Empress Borough, the opulent villa of Earl Hall. I can't explain how many times I've read that fucking sentence. Audrey glanced at the elegantly shaped wall clock and slowly sat down in front of the dressing table despite her nervousness and excitement. She was heading to the home of her psychology teacher, Escalante, and take the key steps of becoming an official member of the Psychology Alchemists. Before doing so, she needed some time to herself to pray to Mr. Fool for his help. I should be able to see the angel this time, right? Audrey thought. After a few seconds of silence, she clasped her hands together and softly chanted the honorific name of the Fool. In 15 Minsk Street, Klein was standing in the living room, looking at the scene which had turned quiet as he sighed. Just a manor wouldn't seem rich enough, yeah. No, not a manor, a villa. To him, the Desire Apostle only meant danger, but to Stuart and the others, it was a change in their life. I hope it can be settled soon. With so many Beyonders and artifacts, there must be something effective against the Devil Pathway. It should be Klein heard a series of illusory pleas. It should be Miss Justice. Having been prepared, he looked around, walked to the bathroom as if nothing has happened. After locking the bathroom door, he couldn't help but sigh. My life has also changed a little. Before the threats of the Desire Apostle were eliminated, he had to reduce the times he went above the Great Fog while being secretly protected by the Hive Mind. Next week, during the Tarot Club, the itinerary must be simplified. But, no matter how compressed it is, it'll still take nearly 10 minutes. Well, constipation is a normal thing. Who says Beyonders can't be constipated, right? Being optimistic, Klein went above the Grey Fog. Next, Audrey followed what she had been taught and entered a artificial sleepwalking state. Bro doing meetings while shitting? Hey, everyone already assumes the Fool is a godlike being, so a meeting like this is already beneath him, so it would make sense for him to just do it while pooping. Like humans read newspapers while pooping, so a god watches humans while pooping. Easy. Next week, When Klein saw her blurry figure inside the Crimson Star, he went through the procedure, first using a spirit body to contain the Black Emperor card. He then picked up the paper figurine he cut with the improved cutting skills and sent it out. As expected, the paper figurine gathered power that was stirred around the Grey Fog, turning into a gigantic angel with 12 pairs of wings. I got 3 letters in the right place, though? I haven't completed the Wordle for today either. I think I have 3 letters as well. Audrey watched as a sacred and majestic angel descended before her, wrapped herself in its layers of wings. She was left speechless for some time. This is an angel, Mr. Fool's angel. It even has 12 pairs of wings, an archangel. No, a seraphim. This is exactly the same as the descriptions of the legends of canon. This is also an angel of our tarot club. Audrey watched as the angel's silhouette rapidly disappeared. She thanked Mr. Fool out of joy, excitement, and piousness. Klein smiled and returned to his living room. Looking at the bullet holes in the wall, he lost himself in thought. Should I hang a cheap oil painting to cover it, or just paint over it? In Escalante's house at the Hilston Burrow, Audrey left her maid and bodyguard in the living room and followed the mistress of the house into the activity room with Susie. In the activity room, there were other people already waiting. One was Hilbert Alucard, the psychologist introduced to her by Lady Norma, and the second, Stephen Hampers, who had organized the previous psychology discussion. At that moment, although it was already time for a banquet, there was only a single ordinary candle lit in the room. The candle was placed in the middle of the coffee table as its faint yellow flame flickered, dispersing the darkness in the activity room. After greeting each other, Hilbert, with his slight brown skin that was thanks to the tiny bit of southern continent blood in him. That is such a weird sentence. Hilbert, who, with his slightly brown skin that was thanks to the tiny bit of southern continent blood in him, glanced at Susie without saying a word. Audrey smiled apologetically. I feel more secure with it around. Susie also looked at Hilbert with innocent eyes. Understandable. Please, have a seat. After Audrey had taken her seat, Hilbert lifted the candle wick to brighten it a little. He looked at Audrey through the candlelight. Now, answer me honestly. Are you sure you want to join the psychology alchemists? Under the illumination of the candle, his eyes seemed to be dyed with a hint of gold. Deep within his eyes, there seemed to be another vertical eye. Vertical eye? Is that not the symbol of the hidden sage? Am I misremembering this? Audrey's mind suddenly turned adrift for a moment before she regained her senses. She lightly nodded and said yes. Hilbert asked again, will you intentionally hurt the psychology alchemists? No. After a few questions, Hilbert, Escalante, and the others heaved sighs of relief. The former smiled and said, is there anything you'd like to say? Oh, is a eyelashless... I thought it was a pupilless eye, no? Is it an eyeless eye? Has cold eyelashless eyes? Okay. Okay, never mind. Okay, thanks guys. Audrey hesitated for a moment and then displayed her sincerity. I once purchased the Spectator formula at a Beyonder gathering. I'm already a spectator. That Beyonder gathering is called the Tarot Club, she thought to herself. Oh, the pupilless eye is part of Klein's symbol. Ah, for fuck's sake. So how many fucking symbols are here? God damn it. 418. Power of the Mind. Two more chapters. We started at 7. Okay, look at that. We're about 5 minutes ahead of time. Okay, dope. We're back to our standard of about 3 hours and 9 chapters a stream. That is some good fucking pace, man. Audrey knew that her mind and psyche were being influenced by some kind of Beyonder power. It was only because of the angel's blessing provided by Mr. Fool that she was immune to that state. Therefore, she decided to set certain things in motion, using small secrets to stun her counterparts so as to hide the more crucial matters in order to return for obtaining greater trust. The reason why she was doing this wasn't because she believed in the angel, but because she felt that she could observe her counterparty just like how they were observing her. Although she had always hidden herself in the dark and pretended not to be a Beyonder, performing in a way which would not arouse suspicion, she would still be more than willing to take the members of the psychology alchemists seriously. After all, they were professionals. And she could only be considered a dabbler. In the Beyonder circle, she lacked the experience and wasn't flexible enough. It was very possible she would expose certain problems from the things she had yet to realize. In that case, she might as well take the opportunity to confess and completely dispel some of the doubts. She had called the descendant of the angel in its envelopment with its wing, a blessing. A diddler. Shut up. Upon hearing Audrey's reply, both Escalante and Hampers showed a brief look of surprise. For a moment, they even doubted their own powers. As for Hilbert, he curled up the corners of his lips with a faint smile, showing no abnormal reaction. Your honesty is admirable. Anything else? No, nothing else. Hilbert thought for a moment before asking a few questions. Which Beyonder gathering did you buy the Spectator formula from? Who'd you buy it from? Where'd you get the ingredients? Audrey's eyes darted around slightly as she showed an expression of recalling. I have to keep the Beyonder gathering a secret. I was unable to see what the person who sold the Spectator formula looked like, but from the way he spoke, I could tell he was a believer of the Lord of Storm. Upon hearing that, Hilbert nodded slightly, as though he was recalling something. Audrey continued, my Spectator ingredients were mainly found in my family's vault, and the rest were exchanged from a few friends. 2 Spectator potions, she added. Most of them were found from my family vault. Hilbert and Escalante ruminated over the words, momentarily at a loss. After a few seconds, Hilbert nodded to Escalante and Hampers, indicating that he found everything all right. After receiving the same reply from the rest, the gold tinge in his eyes faded, and the vertical pupil in his eye faded. Hilbert touched the wick of the candle again, causing the flame to flicker. In that instance of alternating light and darkness, Audrey discovered that the strange power that affected her had suddenly disappeared. Financial gap? Yeah, they're like, wait, she just has those on her? I didn't expect you to already be a spectator, Hilbert chuckled. Huh? Audrey showed her surprise and panic at the right moment. Knowing what kind of emotional reaction to show is in an appropriate situation and knowing in detail what kind of expression and body language to react was the basic skill of a telepathist. Like a cat's eye or a lizard's eye? Oh, I see. Okay. There's no need to be nervous. We don't mind. That was the last of our tests. Congratulations. You have passed all the tests. You are an official Beyonder of the Psychology Alchemists. Alright then. It felt like a dream. She then stood up, lifted the edges of her skirt, bowed at Hilbert and the rest, and said, We are now companions. Escalante and the others stood up and bowed to the beautiful girl. After the two of them sat back down, Hilbert organized his words and said, Miss Audrey, I'm going to formally explain to you the situation of the Psychology Alchemists. Please, just call me by name. The original Psychology Alchemists was just a seminar for enthusiasts who believe the mind has limitless power and infinite wonders. Later on, the seminar obtained a treasure map and found the relics left behind by Hermes. Hermes of the ancient language? Okay. I'm just going to toss this in my hidden organization tab really quickly. Okay. Yes, he was one of the earliest masters of mysticism from the human race, and the language of the ancient Hermes that he created resonated with the powers of nature. He was active during this dark second epoch. Back then, humans were only servants of and slaves of giants. He let out a soft sigh. The original members of the Psychology Alchemists found a lot of things from the ruins. They discovered that Hermes was a mysticism master in the field of the mind. His research target was the dragons that ruled the sky during the second epoch. The dragons of the mind, to be precise. The information he left behind shows that mind dragons have advanced far into this field and achieved the same level as deities. Okay, hold on. That's also going in there. God damn it. Also, Hilbert sighed and said, "Those materials laid the foundation and direction for the research of the psychology alchemists. We believe that the mind has many secrets and that every one of them is hidden somewhere and difficult to grasp." The slight mistake in the study of those secrets would cause irreversible damage to the body. Audrey, you have to remember this. Remember that matters in this aspect need to be done carefully. If we can unravel the secrets of the mind, then we can, on the other hand, unearth the power hidden in one's consciousness, and accomplish many miraculous deeds, and on the other hand, even control the mind of others. After reaching this level, what lies ahead is a sea of gathered collective subconsciousness, which is the place we look forward to the most. Of course, the description of the collective consciousness isn't enough. We prefer to call it the mind world of all living beings. It has a veiled and miraculous connection to the spirit world. If one can master this mind world, what kind of beyonder powers would one obtain? Audrey asked. Hilbert smiled. You should have noticed some of the wonderful phenomena in the real world. When we wish to receive something, it will happen to appear. When we want to visit a friend, they will knock on our door. When we desire something to happen, it begins at that exact moment. You may say it's coincidence, but sometimes there are too many. Our research shows that these coincidences are caused by the unconscious, magical influence of the mind. When you master the mind world, which is also the sea that gathers the collective subconsciousness, then you will master coincidences, creating magical phenomena that will chance appearances as an echo of the mind. It will appear as you wish. This so brilliantly explains what 008 is. 008 is basically just like dreaming of a thing and subconsciously causing, or I'm not going to say subconsciously because it's a fucking book, but like, because it's a fucking quill, but it's causing the spirit world to sort of align things in what's the right word? It's aligning stuff to happen as it was visualized, or in this case, written. Oh, that's so cool. This too, this is going in my notes too. Jesus Christ. Okay, this is just lower dump after lower dump at this point. But the bigger question, where do I add this? I don't wanna... World building, I guess? Yes, I will put it under here. This is too amazing. Audrey had heard the son mention the Dragon of Nightmare before, but the description was far less detailed. Hilbert chuckled. At our level, it's better not to discuss such deep and profound questions. If we do, we'll easily lose ourselves. The discovery of the ruins marked the establishment of the organization. The members at the beginning wanted to maintain a state of pure academic discussion, but they would always need help when encountering matters. Similarly, they lacked items and research materials. That's why the Psychology Alchemists quickly became a systemic and transformed into a real organization. However, compared to other secret organizations, our structure and relationship is still relatively loose. That's what I like about it, Audrey expressed. When you reach a higher rank, you'll be able to meet the other members. I'll give you the Sequence 8 Telepathist Potion. They did prepare a Telepathist Potion as expected. After seeing the lustrous potion, she hesitated. I wish to consume it after I get back. She still doesn't trust us and wishes to make confirmation. Hilbert read Audrey's thoughts. Okay. With your performance, drinking the Telepathist Potion shouldn't be a problem. Audrey beamed and thanked him before probing. Can you give me the potion formula to a psychiatrist? I wish to seek out and gather the ingredients ahead of time so I don't waste any time. Dude. I love how, as a result of her being so naive, she doesn't hesitate asking such a question. She joined this organization 4 seconds ago and she's like, hey, Can I get a mid-sequence formula from you guys real quick? Like, she don't give a fuck. Because she's so naive in her own way. She's like, probably fucking works out. I don't know. Hold on. Sorry. Also at the lower part, Hermes, yes, already did that. It's causing the sea of collective subconsciousness to align stuff. Yeah, exactly. I have noted stuff about the Dragon King and his son, yes. Which can also affect the spirit world to an extent due to the spirit world being the sky in the collective consciousness. Ah, cool. She's rich. It'll work out. Yeah, exactly. When other people join the psychology alchemists, other than hoping to get a formula, don't they hope to apply for the corresponding ingredients? Who says it in such a carefree manner and talk about trying to gather them ahead of time? They were all speechless as they looked at the girl who spoke of such things with a normal tone. I'll help you make the application, Hilbert said. Normally, this would require contribution points, and the contribution points come from the missions we assign, the research you do, and the new information you gather. Okay, I'll do my best. She remained silent after leaving Escalante's house, but only after she entered her room and sent Annie and the others away did she turn to Susie and say, "Susie, we got your potion!" It's a pity that the rainbow salamander that Alfred found couldn't be used. It can only be exchanged for money, Audrey sighed. Susie looked at the bottle containing the telepathist potion and wagged her tail cheerfully. Audrey hung a pair of gold-rimmed glasses around her neck just for laughs. Oh, that's where it comes from. That's so good. You need to pay attention to the CF's collective subconsciousness for better understand the story later. I think I have about as good an understanding as you can reasonably have at this point. Actually, no. That sentence is probably false as fuck. Never mind. I will do more research on it, Thunder. Yes. Okay. That came out conceited as fuck. It was not intended to. Helstonborough in Stanton's house. Client had been invited to breakfast. Apart from him, Kozlana was there too. Mr. Stanton, your cooking skills are excellent. Isengard, who had a grey hair at his temple, smiled and said, "It's a specialty of Lenberg, and to the Beyonders of the Church of God of Knowledge and Wisdom. Its sequence 6 is called Polymath. It's easy for people to lose control for the corresponding potion. Until now, I still don't have the confidence to make the advancement attempt." So it's Polymath. Ah. That is a good name, actually. That is a good name. For the reader pathway, you know what? I much prefer that to scribe. Reader. Oh, so Isengard has probably fully digested the potion. He just is scared to. No, if he had fully digested it, he probably would have been okay. Maybe he doesn't know about the acting method then? Interesting. 419. Wishing. I wish upon a star. Blah-biddy, blah-biddy, blah. Okay. Think of it this way. People are islands, and their thoughts go into the sea of collective consciousness, and their actions go to the sky. The spirit world has information about everything that has ever happened and will ever happen. The sea has all the thoughts anyone has ever thought. Oh, that's a really good way to put that. Hold on. Okay, I'm actually gonna put your I'm actually gonna put your comments in the notes. What the fuck? That's a really good way to put it. Like, that's how I would have explained it to myself if I had thought of that. That's really good. Okay. Okay, that's really good. Okay. Okay, dope. 419, wishing. And I'm out of tea. But that's actually kind of a good thing. It was kind of just fucking sucked. Oh, God, that has turned lukewarm. That's not great. Polymath. This sequence sounds strong just from its name. Reader's 7, the Reader's Pathway 7, Sequence 7 is called Knowledge Keeper or Detective. It's a job that leans towards grasping knowledge and deduction. At most, it would be accompanied by decent combat techniques and the ability to use machinery. Sorry, even with that advancing to Sequence 6, it's always dangerous because it's the highest sequence that doesn't have a ritual. Oh, I see. Okay. But at Sequence 6, there seems to be a sudden qualitative change, especially more so in the field of Beyonder combat. From the looks of it, each Beyonder pathway has its own critical point below the high sequences, but it isn't fixed at a particular sequence. For example, for the Seer pathway, the critical point is Magician. Klein drank a mouthful of hot coffee and didn't try probing on the other secrets of the sequences. Instead, he smiled and said, "Mr. Stanton, you seem to be quite relaxed and not nervous." Isengard didn't answer immediately. He put down the knife and fork, took out his pipe and said, "You don't mind, right?" "Actually, I do, but the pollution and smog in Backland is already bad enough that it doesn't really matter." "This aids in your thinking?" More accurately, it's a habit that I have after breakfast." So, as the smoker exhaled, he sighed and said, "Fear, nervousness, and worry don't help us face the threat. In that case, why not take it a little easier? My mind will become more active because of this." This is actually true. Nicotine helps you become sharper. I'm not saying to smoke, by the way, but it does make you mentally sharper. My assistant easily got worried, which led to his fatal disaster. Make them fit the pathway thematically and make the difficulty of each ritual relative to its sequence? Jesus Christ, that sounds fucking miserable, Milos. Having said that, he chuckled. "More importantly, we have no other means of locating the desired apostle." "What do we do?" Kazlan asked. When discussing topics like this, I prefer reclining chairs. Apart from being able to sense danger, devils aren't good at divination or premonition. Therefore, if a Desire Apostle wishes to figure out the main target, he would need to actively investigate and gather information. Otherwise, he would know which of the group of private detectives he had made considerable contributions to the serial murder. How was he able to precisely pinpoint you and me? In such a process, he definitely would have interacted with many people. Even in a disguise, he's bound to leave some clues and some rough imagery. So does amphetamines doesn't mean one should take it? Well, kind of. Like, Vyvanse is an amphetamine, technically. Chemically, anyway. And I mean, it does make me a lot sharper. I don't do it. But, it's medically, it's even medically prescribed, but I still don't. I don't like it. Similarly, if he wants to attack me, then he'll have to find out where I live, my entry and exit patterns, as well as when I work and rest. He should know if there are powerful Beyonders protecting me. There's just a considerable amount of observation. I like the maxim, wherever he steps, whatever he touches, wherever he leaves, even unconsciously, will serve as a silent witness against him. So, but I only take it at corresponding time. Methylphenidate. I don't, I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with it. Oh, it's another, it's just another ADHD drug. Okay, I see. But I only take it at corresponding time and dosage. Yeah, I have it, but I don't use it. I don't like it. I like to think I'm decently sharp enough as it is, so I mean, don't get me wrong, it does make me sharper still, but at that point I'm just on a knife's edge. So I know that sentence. It was said by Roselle. Soon after, he felt a little despondent, because this was his second time he had heard someone mention this maxim in this world. The last time it happened was in Tingen. Kazlana said, "As expected of a great detective, I never thought about such things. I admire your observation and reasoning skills. Everyone has their own areas of expertise. If it's just fighting, then I would be defeated by you again and again. Sherlock must have also thought of the things I said. He has outstanding observation and reasoning skills. He's a truly outstanding detective." Oh, IBS sucks. Oh, I'm so sorry. IBS is like I generally have like a really good stomach and stuff, but like I want for like a very short period of time I had like I'm not gonna say it was quite like maybe an acute version of it. I don't even know if that's a thing, but my god, it was like my entire day was planned around like, hey, like, do I have access to a restroom if I need it? Like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, I can't fucking live like this. I don't know how people do. Jesus Christ. So, like, I have so much respect for anyone with IBS. My God. No, you're a true detective. I'm still a long ways off. You really are a modest young man, Isengard sighed. He smiled and said, "Next up, we'll proceed by taking these points in mind. You'll have to use your own resources and information channels. Aside from the Tarot Club, a third of my resources and information channels in Backland are you, my good man." Klein forced a smile and said, "All right." Apart from the Beyonder gathering held by the Eye of Wisdom, the only people he could seek help from were Merrick, Miss Sharon, Emlyn White, and Father Utravsky. With the hive mind secretly protecting me, I'll have to eliminate Sharon and Merrick. I can visit Emlyn the vampire, as he is now a half-believer of the Earth Mother and under the protection of the Bishop. He would encounter any danger from official Beyonders. Kazlana remained silent before saying, "No problem." I'm just thinking of something. Would all vampires be considered like a half sequence of the mutant pathway? Maybe. Like, could it be that they're like a really old ancestor was like sequence 0 of the mutant pathway, and they're now just as successors from him, they're all just like part of that sequence? I was thinking about Emlyn White. Is vampire part of the mutant pathway? Sorry, hold on. No, it's not part of the pathway. Sorry. Okay. That being said, sorry, let me just quickly pull up my notes. Sorry, because I was working on them. They're so top of mind as opposed to usually. I apologize. I'm constantly pulling these up. Okay. Elf King Sonya Theorem, Vampire Ancestor Lilith, Devil... Okay. So, Devil Monarch is obviously of the Devil pathway. Mutant King Kvasir is of the mutant pathway. Demonic Wolf's Flagrea, known as the Evernight Demonic Wolf, would be of the Evernight pathway, which would be Evernight pathway. That would be the spirit guide, spirit medium one, in my mind. Vampire ancestor Lilith. What pathway would you be of Lilith? And you, elf. Sonya theorem, because it has the Sonya, and that makes me think Sonya C. This makes me think it might be of the pathway. Fuck, what am I talking about? This might be of the Sailor pathway, but that's just because of the Sonya C, so I might have this wrong. Where would you be, Lilith? Okay. Okay, not quite. I ruled that one out immediately, but I just had to pop by my notes to do it. Okay. But hey, at least it got me on a cool train of thought, so that's good. Klein wiped away the remaining cream on the last bit of toast, chewed and swallowed it at a leisurely pace, before asking, Mr. Stanton, you previously mentioned the activation of a particular sealed artifact. Will it help us deal with the Desire Apostle? Yes, it played a crucial role in finding and surrounding the Devil Dog back then. Its code name is 142. 142. A sealed grade 1 artifact is highly dangerous and can only be used in limited ways. Even in the Backland Diocese, they can only keep 1 or 2. A corresponding description flashed across Klein's mind. What is it? What abilities and negative effects does it have? That is a secret of the Church of the Evernight. I do not know. I only know that it was originally not in Backland and they rushed it here as an emergency. It's said that it's a full-body armor which is silver in color with dark red bloodstains. It once caused the destruction of a small city and over 100,000 people died of it? That's a fucking mistranslation, right? Where is Dragon of Imagination? They should be here. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Sorry. Among the 8 incarnations, Dragon King, whatever. They're just in a different place. Dragons are immortal enemies, whatever. Dragon King Ankvault, known as Dragon of Imagination. His son, Azulod, the Dragon of Nightmare. Yeah, no, I got it. It's there. 100,000 people died because of one artifact, and it's grade 1, not a 0? What the actual fuck? Is a grade 0 artifact capable of just killing all of humanity? What more do you need to make it 0, bro? Cursed armor? Klein asked. Perhaps it isn't cursed. Some people call it the Berserker armor. Oh, a reference to Berserk? Oh, or Bloodthirster's armor. My church once guessed that that the blood it's stained with comes from a deity from ancient times. When it was discovered, it appeared to be nothing out of the ordinary. It was treated as a simple antique, sold and collected by others. Griffith! Yeah. Wait, its blood is stained from the blood of the blood it's stained with is of a deity from ancient times. The only god that we know of that died is death. I mean, I can make an assumption that the ancient sun god also died, but that's an assumption. The name could have just over time evolved into EBS also. Could the blood be of death? And that's why it's so strong, and that's why it has this imagine, and that's why it has like this ability to kill so many people. Imagine death dying. Dude, absolutely. What a fucking poser. You guys talk about Rosego being a fucking poser? Nah, Death is the fucking poser, bro. He's called Death and he fucking died? Get it together. The ancient gods? Oh. I know fuck all about the ancient gods. I don't know shit about them, okay? The ancient gods were also a thing. The ancient... Oh, wait, hold on. So the ancient deities were the Giant King, Ormir, Dragon of Imagination, and stuff. The only one that I know, that I feel like I know died was the Giant King, no? I feel like it's stated that Ormir fucking bit the dust. Okay, I don't know, but I feel like I remember... It's not in my notes, but I feel like it said somewhere that Ormir died. I don't know how he died, but I feel like I remember it saying somewhere that he fucking died. Whatever. But as time passed, those who came into contact with it died one after another. It was an extremely terrifying death, nearly to the point of dismemberment, and after that, with it as the center, death spread outwards. There was no longer any need for contact, and as such, a small city was destroyed. This has got to be the blood of death, dude. What the fuck? Death just spread outwards? This happened in the early 5th epoch. The Nighthawks were responsible for the aftermath. As expected, for Beyonder from the Church of the Goddess, of the Church of the God of Knowledge and Wisdom, he knows enough history and Beyonder events. Will it bring us danger? Kozlana asked. The Church of the Evernight definitely found the right way of sealing it, but for us, it's best if we avoid contact as best as possible. After breakfast, he and Klein went into the activity room where the fight had taken place. Kozlana headed to the bathroom. Looking at her back, Klein thoughtfully said, "She seems to be a Beyonder of the Arbiter pathway. Your observational skills are indeed outstanding," Isengard said. This pathway is strictly controlled by the royal family, the military, and the ancient nobles. Very few formulas and ingredients appear in the outside world. Kozlana has such a background? Klein whispered. Quite obviously. However, even to this point, she hasn't taken the initiative to mention the relevant matters. This implies there's a reason that makes it somewhat inconvenient for her to mention it. He looked at Klein with a smile in his eyes, as if to say, "Aren't you the same as well?" Klein laughed dryly and sat down. After a while, Kozlana came to the activity room and continued discussing the matters. As she was speaking, her expression changed as it suddenly became gloomy and she sighed. "I was pulled into the most dangerous case this time. I have no idea if I'll survive. If I were to be killed by the Desire Apostle, I wish to have this on my tombstone. She had a great mother." Kozlana's voice gradually lowered as her difficult to get along with personality seemed to soften. Oh, so she's not of the lawyer pathway, she's of the arbiter pathway, who can calm people down as an arbiter because she can be a middle person. That sounds good. Similarly, he's the most dangerous enemy I've encountered, Isengard said. He then laughed and said, "If I die, both of you live, would you be willing to help deliver my remains to the Holy Temple of Knowledge in Lenberg?" Stop raising death flags. Klein's mouth was half open, but he didn't know how to stop the detectives in front of him. "No problem, but I hope this day will never come." He tried his best to dispel the thoughts. "Sherlock, what about you? If you were killed by the Desire Apostle, what do you wish to have that you hope others can fulfill?" "Revive me," Klein said. Klein sighed. "I hope that I can be buried in a cemetery with a good scenery. It's best if my corpse is intact and sprinkled with holy water and fresh flowers. Do not cremate me." The three of them fell silent for a while. until they heard the tinkling sounds of the doorbell. The visitor was the deacon named Eikenzer Bernard. His hair was stubbornly squeezing out from the brim of his hat, giving him a deep masculine outline. This time he wasn't holding the silver mirror named Erides. It was unknown where he had put it. If I had my chance, I wouldn't mind using that magic mirror to see how my loyal and humble servant would react. Eikenzer didn't enter. He stood there, looking at the detective trio, then quickly said in a deep voice, "There's a clue to the Desire Apostle." Huh. The plot thickens. Okay, 419, all done. The battle's gotta be coming soon, right? So from my understanding, Klein has gotta finish digesting sequence 7 pretty soon. Maybe after the battle with the devil is done. And then he should get to sequence 6 before the end of volume 2. That'd be based as fuck. Artwork channel, yes. Okay. I will make the adjustments to my notes after stream, Romero, the ones that you sent. Thank you for that, by the way. There it is. Oh, that's so cool. How much Audrey art? What the fuck? That's very cute. The flower and all that stuff. This is really... I missed some above? Oh, Azek. Azek. This is good. See, I love this. The range of his skin tone is so vast. He's just white here, and he is he's of a darker skin tone here. Like I think it said that Azek is olive skinned, I believe, right? Olive skinned would mean he's lighter than me. And like generally I'm considered pretty light skinned. So like this would be considered really dark for him, but this would be considered incredibly light. How the fuck is he dead? Oh, well, I guess he does die all the time, kind of. Oh, this looks hard as fuck. What? Man, I doubt Azek would ever join, because I feel like Azek has his own sort of shit to do. But like, man, if Azek ever joined the Tarot Club, that'd be hard as fuck. I doubt he ever would, though. He doesn't feel like someone who's... He doesn't feel like a joiner. He feels like a leader. But this is really good art. His proportions are fucked, though. His chest is so big and his legs are, like, so tiny in comparison. Like, from here to, let's say, here, because some of it's going to be the coat, no problem, to this. That's like, I don't know, a third of the width. My guy has some fucking chicken legs. That's really good, too. Man, Azek has really long hair, eh? This is hard as fuck. This is how he should dress all the time. He looks so good. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, whatever. I love that Crimson Moon. That is always so good. That is a thirst trap if I've seen one, but god damn, that is good looking. Big brother walking beside Klein. That's good. Ikenzer. Wait, hold on. Amnesia, you think he looks cool? He looks so... Ugh, look at him. I can say that. It's fine. It's not too mean. This is very cute. What am I thinking of? What are these fucking things called? Not a big brother. He's a godfather? Yeah, fair. These pearls. Holy shit, that took a while. These pearls wrapped around, like, that looks so good. I love that. Oh, that's so cute. The flowers and everything are so well done. There's like a innocence in her eyes that like I've come to expect from Miss Justice. Like, she's so starry-eyed. And that looks so good. That's so cute. Gonna guess that's a tag or something. I don't know. In my mind, Audrey still looks much closer to this, like a child. Whereas here, she looks like a full-grown adult, basically. But I did say that she's about to come of age. So I don't know what that means. Like, is of age 16 in Lord of the Mysteries, or would it be 18? Would it be of age for this universe? Because didn't it say that in a couple months she'd be coming of age? Is that not? I feel like I read that. I always love these. I don't know what the name of these are. I always forget. The name of these fans. I was in my mind. Like, I can't remember if she's 17 or 15. But these fans I always find so cute. It's already December. Oh, come. Oh yeah. Well, I know. Oh yeah. 17. Okay. Thank you. That's also really well done. Oh, those flowers are so cute. Oh. It's like that small stuff for me that makes or breaks everything. Seriously, this is an incredible amount of art that the community has. This is crazy. It's actually mind-boggling to me. Oh, that is so well done. Oh my god. The pillars, the grass in the background, the clouds, that is... Even just the background through here, that is so unbelievably well done. What is she giving her? That's so cute. This is like very Victorian era-esque. I love this. This is great. Sorry, very quickly. Ramiro, I keep thinking about this. I feel like 100% certain it said that the Life School of Thought has both apothecary and planter. I feel like 100% sure. Does someone mind fact checking that for me? Because I feel so sure that's the case. Oh, this is so cute too. So good. Oh, that is so... Susie's glasses. Audrey doesn't wear glasses, but either way, that's very cute. The Miss Justice, or just Justice, but still. Beaker potions and stuff because she's in the Psychology Alchemist. This is so good, man. This is so well done. Alrighty. I think, oh god. I think we will leave it there, guys. I think that almost brings us to 3.5 hours, but really 3 hours of reading. Yeah. I think we'll leave it there. Remember, if you do get an answer, just send it to me on Discord. Either PMs or the... Wait, what? The Zarato, the pathway that controls the... said by Zarato is controlled by the Life School of Thought. Okay, I guess I stand corrected. Never mind. Okay. I will get that all changed. Thanks so much. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you in a little bit. Hopefully we can get rid of this damn devil soon. I am officially switching my pathway to Seer from Criminal. It has become obvious Criminal does not suit me, and Seer is really my true calling. Might I even say a better natural Seer than than Klein. That's it. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you in a bit.